Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Premium Takes. I'm your host, Adam, and with me today, as always, Mac the Giants fan, and our third
What up?
partner is running a little late, Zion Zenith. How you doing today, Mac? Super
I am
Sunday.
I am doing great, man. Super Sunday is my favorite holiday of the year. I mean, it's not officially a holiday, but it's my own personal holiday of mine. I mark down on the calendar every year. I used to take this day when I used to work on the weekends. I used to take this day off every year, man, because that's how much it meant to me.
Yes, I mean, I did the same thing. I worked in TV once, and I worked on a Sunday. I said, listen, of all the days, I don't care if Christmas was today. I would rather work on Christmas than miss the Super Bowl. So
Absolutely.
they let me off, and here we are. We thought the day would never come, and obviously there's wall to wall coverage. So thank you all for joining us on this um, Sunday, Super Sunday. But let's get into a few things before we get into the game. We have a few things we'd like to talk about. Sup, Lou, and sup, Logan.
What's
What's going
going
on with
on,
you
Lou?
guys? Hope you're enjoying your Sundays. But let's get into a few things first. Before we get into the Super Bowl stuff, let's go over the awards. I know we're a little late to the party, but the NFL awards happened on Thursday and Thursday night to kind of kick the Super Bowl festivities off. And so let's. How do you feel about these awards? And let's start with the Man of the Year award, Mac. What do you think?
Well, I mean, that's a distinct honor, man. When you get an award like that, it's because you really do so much, not just on the field, but off the field in your community, in the community where your team plays. And to me, it, to me personally, I feel like it's a higher honor than even the MVP award because it says a lot about the character of a person as well, man. When you receive this award, it just means so much, man. Like you do so much for like kids. I guess go to the hospital, you see kids, you maybe do things, just to help, just for just people who in need. You know what I mean? You're just a very helpful person, individual. It just says a lot about the character of an individual who receives this award. And if you look in the history of this award, some of the other guys we were just talking about backstage, as a matter of fact, with Eli, Larry Fitzgerald, guys like that. I mean, those guys had reputation, stellar reputations on and off the field. So it just hats off to Andrew Whitworth, man. And it's big congratulations to him, man. He must have really truly deserved it. I can't say I know a whole lot about the things he was doing, but at the same time, he must have truly deserved it to get
Well,
this
I
award.
think he had a charity for kids and was helping them in their schools and low or I shouldn't say low, but underprivileged kids in their communities not being able to get the education or the resources that they need. So, like you said, I think it's a great award. I think it's something that needs to be featured for NFL awards. Just in context, people they never used to do this. There used to be awards for every other freaking sports entity except for the NFL. Then one day they did the awards, and I thought it was going to be one of those joke things like NFL awards, but here they are. They're now nice. They got the red carpet going. They got all these celebrities there. They have a celebrity host now. These things are becoming bigger and bigger. And so for me, I think that award is the best award, like you said, better than the MVP award because you're talking about guys giving back, right? We don't necessarily highlight that in these day and age, right? Especially with the society we're doing right now, with everybody fighting with each other and things like that. It's good to see these guys can take time out of their busy schedules, you know, to go out and do these things on a Tuesday afternoon. I know it's their off day, but
Absolutely.
still, they're hurting, they're banged up. They could easily just blow things off, and you know, to go there and do it consistently because there's guys who do it. They're like, oh, I don't want to show up, or they're sick. I get it, right? You play football, but to get up every day or every week and kind of go there and touch these kids' lives. He said one day that a guy from the Detroit Lions, I think it was Detroit, it might have been another team, came up to him and said, "Hey, Big Win." He was like, "Hey, what's going on? You don't remember me, but you touched me that day, touched my heart that day when you came in and spoke to our class." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Detroit, and you came to my school a few years ago, and you basically said that you can do this and believed in me." And I was like, "This is something I never thought would be possible." And here he is. He thought it was somebody, a coach's kid or something. No, this is a guy he actually talked to, years ago about you making it in the NFL and just following your dream. So for me, those kind of stories never die, never get old. They need to be featured more. We need to see more of these guys because a lot of the time, especially in the NFL, we see a lot of police blotter. What guy is going to jail or what guy has done this transgression or that transgression, but we don't see the stuff that needs to be promoted, like, hey, touching a kid's life by going out and meeting a celebrity. I don't know about you, but sometimes I've met a celebrity and I get a little giddy, like, oh my God, that's Eli Manning standing in front of me. Or that's a football player, especially when you're a kid and, you see them on TV, but now they're sitting in front of you telling you that does a lot. So for me, I loved that award and I loved his speech. So
Yeah, you hit on a good point too with that. When you like you said, these guys obviously know they have insane schedules, man. Like you said, they play game on Sunday, like you said, beat up, bruised up, but they take time out of their day on their day off or something like that. And not necessarily just it might not even be just on their days off. I have no idea. Might even sometimes working into a busy day that you already had a busy day after practice or something like that, and still going back and giving back to the community. So it just really does. It just says so much, man. It's such a high honor, man. And you're right. You said it should be put more on a pedestal than what it actually is. What's
hey,
up,
Zion, welcome.
Zion?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry I'm so late. I have a fast week crashed. Can you put it at rectangle view? Awesome. So much better. Sorry to interrupt. Thank you for holding it down.
No, man, you're part of this. This
But
is
I sound like a little kid right
here,
now.
man.
Appreciate it, guys.
All for one and one for all. But we were just talking about the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. We wanted to start out with that award, being that everything else is all commercial, but this one's actually real. So Mac was just finish up his point, and then Zion, I think you should give yours.
Absolutely. I totally forgot who won it, but all of the people, huh?
Andrew Whitworth won.
Andrew Whitworth. Yes, I like the Man of the Year award because exactly what Adam said. That's an award that they look out. They don't look what you did in the game. They look at what you did outside of the game. And a lot of the times we are so focused on these athletes and what they're doing on the football field, that we forget that there's a lot of work that they do behind the cameras, and even when the cameras are not on, because of the kindness of the award, and not just for charity and not just for tax write-offs or anything like that. So the fact that Andrew Whitworth, I believe that is the Rams left tackle.
Yes.
He's been in the league for a while. He's, I believe, 43, if I'm not mistaken. So he's one of the best left tackles in the league at his age. And it goes to show his work ethic on the field and also the work ethic off the field. I know the year and Eli Manning won it, I was happy because the work he did for the hospitals and stuff like that with the children, the cancer survivors and cancer patients and stuff like that.
He was a co-winner. He was a co-winner.
He was a co-winner. Yes, he actually split it out.
Thing, right? With Larry Fitzgerald.
With Larry, I was just about to say, was it Larry Fitzgerald, the Cardinals wide receiver? Yeah, I believe he's top 5 because he got 17,000 receiving yards, so top 5 all-time receiving. And Larry,
yeah, I think he's very close to number 2, number 3, top 5 all time. And he's a guy who, not to go off tangent, but he's a guy who did it on the field and off the field, and deserved better than one shot at the Super Bowl. But you look at a guy with loyalty, came to work every day. Those are the guys you want to build on. I know we're talking about the Man of the Year award, but I just wanted to bring in Larry Fitzgerald because I think he's forgot about Hall of Fame player that we need to mention more of. But continue.
Larry Fitzgerald, one more point. Fitzgerald,
I want a Ramsey jersey.
I always refer to Larry Fitzgerald as the Tim Duncan of the NFL. A guy, absolute superstar.
Who works.
Just went to work, did his job, and went home at the end of the day. You know what I mean? None of the extraness, none of the look at me. I did my job. You know what I mean? No, he just goes, does his job, gets it done, and did it at a high level.
Facts on that. Oh no, I was pretty much done, and I totally understand that guy. He's not a guy that you heard about in the news. His name was trending for the wrong reasons, man. A guy showed up every day, and some people may, be like, well, the guy played so much seasons. That's why he has so much yards. But at the end of the day, you gotta respect him. You gotta respect him because that guy showed to adapt to the times. So getting back to the Man of the Year award, shout out to Andrew, man. I know he probably does a lot of great things in his community, probably donates to a lot of great charities. So I love the fact that the Man of the Year award is really recognized and is not just like talked about and thrown to the side. I like it how there's a prestigious feel to it because that's how it's supposed to be. And I wouldn't mind having a Ramsey jersey or Aaron Donald jersey, Logan. But I'm a true Giants fan, so I don't do that.
Well, listen, you could have a jersey. Anyone could have a jersey, but who's not getting Man of the Year right now is Ramsey. So
He's never going to get it. He's never going to get it.
Yeah, just both. I like it. The only thing he's donating is the Brinks truck that he got his money in. So, but anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But let's get on to the next one, which is a kind of a controversial one. But we can actually let's not start with that one. Let's start with the Defensive Player of the Year. You know, we'll leave the last one that the MVP. We'll leave that for the last one. Let's talk about the Defensive Player of the Year award.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say you guys called it, man. I was heavy on Mike Parsons, and when you guys brought up, I believe TJ Watt won it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, TJ Watt is the AP Defensive Player.
Yes, when you guys when we had this prediction a couple weeks ago, and you guys was talking about TJ Watt, you know, I went back and actually looked at it, and I'm like, oh my god, that guy did really have a good year. +2, if I'm correct. He had 22.5 sacks, so that's 3.5 sacks, 2.5 sacks away from the record. So not only that, just that's the things we actually can physically see on the stats. Look how defenses have to plan. Opposing offenses have to plan for him every week and stuff like that. And he's a game where the other offensive coach is planning on how to get him out of the game and how he's not going to disrupt their game. So the fact of the matter is, the Watt brothers have shown to be really good football players in this league. I'm happy for TJ Watt, and I'm glad he's getting his respect. I'll let you guys take over.
Well, TJ Watt, man, to me, it was a slam dunk for me. I know Micah Parsons as a rookie had a very tremendous rookie season, but I felt like as far as overall defensive player of the year, TJ Watt was, in my opinion, the best defensive player in the league this year. Guy's an absolute game changer. He just wrecks offensive lines, man, offensive tackles specifically. And he almost broke the sack record, man. And people tried to say, oh, he had an extra game to do it. But guess what? I'm not even sure if he technically did, because I'm pretty sure he missed a game or two this season. I think when he got banged up a little bit earlier in the year and missed a couple of games. So
maybe he would have broken it.
Yeah, maybe he would have actually broken it.
I don't know why I was thinking the record's 25. Logan, you're right, and Mac, you're right.
Yeah, so, 22 and a half, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's to me, I have no problem with TJ Watt going on with this award. It was absolutely the right choice, in my opinion, man. The only other person I would even consider would have maybe been rookie Micah Parsons, man, possibly.
Who go?
I think they nailed it with TJ Watt on this one, absolutely.
Well, Mac, I agree with you. When you get close to a sack record, damn near tying it, that to me deserves the consideration. Now we're going to get into offensive MVP and offensive player of the year. I want to start with defense, just because there was a lot of talk about, Micah Parsons, and it goes to show that he cooled off some towards the end of the season, so he didn't have the same impact down the stretch as TJ Watt did. He was having sack fumbles, damn near won the playoff game, or at least ignited he had a touchdown in the playoff game. He was strip sack and a fumble return. So, the guy played out of his mind. He played so well that they forgot about Bud Dupree. This is why you let a guy like Bud Dupree walk to the Titans, because you got TJ Watt. And right now, the little brother is outdoing Big Brother. And Big Brother is, in Arizona. He has some issues going on with injuries and things like that. But right now, I would take TJ Watt over him. And it was a great thing to see him as the Defensive Player of the Year. So let's go on. Speaking of Defensive Player of the Year, obviously we'll switch over to the rookie side of things. And so we have 3 rookies to talk. Oops, sorry. So the Offensive Rookie of the Year was Jamarchase. I don't think that's in question at all, because Jamarchase is absolutely an absolute stud this year, which actually is funny, because let's all admit it, we all were like, what are you guys doing on draft day? You're supposed to draft an offensive lineman. Right, and here they are laughing in our face, sitting in the Super Bowl right now saying, what are you talking about? We drafted probably, the best receiver I've seen. You could argue him and Cooper Kupp could have easily rivaled the 2 best receivers in the game. But he's the offensive rookie of the year, and I think that honor is good. I don't think anybody kind of got even close to the impact that he had for his team. So I don't even think.
I don't even know who else could have been nominated for the award, to be honest.
Exactly. Next one I'd like to mention is he's also the offensive rookie of the year. So he had 2 awards. He won the offensive rookie of the year and then the offensive rookie of the year. So he won overall NFL MVP honors and the rookie. Just wanted to clarify that for all. The next one would be the defensive rookie of the year.
Wait, didn't Cooper Kupp win offensive player of the year?
No, rookie of the year. I said offensive.
Rookie. I'm sorry. We're talking offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie of the year is Jamarchase, but he was also offensive rookie of the year. So offensive defensive player of the year was Micah Parsons. And I don't think there's anybody close to Micah Parsons.
Once again, also not up for debate. Also a slam dunk. Don't even.
We can move on.
Even I think almost maybe even more so than Jamarchase. I think Micah Parsons.
I have a question. Who's this
rookie of the year?
Who's this Micah Parsons guy you guys speak of?
Oh, Micah Parsons. You know, the guy that we decided to trade out of to 20 to pick Kadarius Toney, who has 3 bars of rapping and 3 games of playing. Right? Great job, Kadarius, young joker. You are a joke. You're laughing right now. Nah, he's cool. Kadarius will be fine. But my point is like. I like Micah Parsons. He did well. I mean, if he didn't play for anybody else, I wouldn't be as mad. But he plays for the Cowboys, so we're gonna have to hear about that for years to come with Micah Parsons. But let's keep going down the list real quick.
What's going on, Ash, real quick? And about that Micah Parsons thing.
What's up,
what bothers me about that draft is also because we were sitting there in that spot, our pick, and we had 2 rookies that were on the board that both played in the Pro Bowl a week ago. And had that kind of impact as rookies. We could have took either one of them, and I'd have been ecstatic.
Right.
And we took neither one of them, traded out of the spot. And I'm not mad at Kadarius Toney. He made some big plays for us when he was on the field, but that's the big thing when he was on the field.
Yes,
right now is a big thing with him.
That's the big issue was when he was on the field. So let's keep it rolling here, guys, with the next one, and that would be Offensive Player of the Year, which we talk about. Cooper Kupp, hands down, absolutely the best performance of a receiver I've seen maybe in this decade. I know in my lifetime, but definitely in this decade, is the last time I've ever seen a guy, do what he did. We're talking about guys like Rice. We're talking about guys like Moss. We're talking about Chris Carter's of the world. This guy did one things that we haven't seen. That's the Triple Crown winner, which guys have won, but let's be honest, we haven't seen that in a long time. So hats off.
Not in this dominant of a fashion they haven't won it. Not where it's like this overwhelming in every category. Like it wasn't close. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but it's just this Cooper Kupp thing has been bothering me for a couple weeks because I saw the writing on the wall. I pretty much knew the league was going to cop out and give Aaron Rodgers the MVP award. But yet they give Cooper Kupp the Offensive Player of the Year award. Now tell me and riddle me this. How does a guy win Offensive Player of the Year, but yet another offensive player wins MVP? Riddle me that. How is Cooper Kupp supposedly the best offensive player in the league this season, but yet another offensive player wins the MVP award?
And he's in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And he's pretty much the biggest reason why that team is in the Super Bowl. Just call it like it is, man. I feel like he's the biggest reason why. He plays every single game. And
there's a ton of awards on here, and like I said, we don't have to spend too much time on them. There's a few more I'd like to look at, but I agree with you, Mac. Cooper Kupp, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us, NFL? Stop pulling the wool over our eyes. So I just want to go down a few more, and then we'll touch on the Hall of Fame guys, which I think is an interesting class as well. But they have the Comeback Player of the Year is, you guessed it, Joe Burrow is Comeback Player of the Year. Obviously, what he's done to get his team in the Super Bowl after a devastating knee injury is something remarkable, something that we probably didn't even expect. I know I didn't expect it. I don't know about you guys. I knew Joe Burrow was on the one of those quarterbacks that was ascending into greatness. Obviously, you can't predict a guy's future or what they're going to do, but when coming out, first overall pick, here we go, blows out his knee, and then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he's playing in the biggest game of his life. So this, to me, I can't complain about that pick.
Absolutely not. I mean, obviously early. Obviously early on in this season, man, Dak Prescott was making a big push for this award as well, but he definitely cooled off, man. And Joe Burrow just continued to stay that path, man. And he just kept ascending, and he definitely deserves it. I think NFL once again got this one right, man, because I don't think it was necessarily so overwhelming like some of the other awards we were talking about earlier. But I think Joe Burrow definitely still deserved to pull this one out, man. He came back strong. It's only in his second year. To be able to respond like that from an ACL, towards ACL last year, to be able to respond like that and come out and have the year he did behind a bad offensive line.
Bad. Yep.
And still be able to get the job done and get his team to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, I know that doesn't really account into the award because by that time the awards were already pretty much figured out, but Joe Burrow earned this one, man, and that kid's a rock star.
So that's great. We'll talk about the last award, which we've touched on already, and then we'll maybe move on to something else. But side note, Carson Wentz, the Colts are thinking about possibly moving on from him. That's a topic we can touch on in the offseason, but I just wanted to bring that up and let people know that might be happening. But the MVP award. Now, I know someone just said in the chat this award become for quarterbacks. I kind of agree. I was thinking that was more for the Super Bowl because it seems like every time, no matter what, like Justin Tuck in the Super Bowl with the Giants, basically could have been the MVP of the game if you really wanted to talk about it, right? Because Eli Manning in 2007 didn't really do much up until that one miraculous throw to Tyree. So, which brings me to the MVP talk. Why are we not recognizing? You and I are recognizing, but why is Cooper Kupp not getting more vote? One vote? I mean, who's voting for this? Like, they didn't ask me to vote because I wouldn't have voted for Aaron Rodgers.
It's not just, and it happens over and over again. And here, like we talked about J.J. Watt a couple minutes ago. Remember that one dominant season he had where he was hands far and away the best player in the NFL,
right?
Either side of the football, and yet. Still, and I believe Aaron Rodgers won the MVP that year too. I believe that was another one of Aaron Rodgers' MVP years. Like,
why even give it out? Why even give it out? If you're not going to make it go to the most valuable player, why give it out? Just say we're going to give it to the quarterback that's throwing the most touchdowns. Make it the most touchdown award or something. Because and even that wasn't the case because Tom Brady could have easily been the MVP, but they didn't want to give it to Brady, which would have been funny, right? Because he would have walked off in the sunset in their game as the MVP, right? Now they have Aaron Rodgers, so let's get into him for a little bit, right? He's retiring, he's not retiring. I feel like this is Brett Favre part 2, fellas. I mean, Brett Favre did the same thing. Oh, I don't want to play anymore. My heart's not into it. I'm not in Green Bay. And then 3 seconds later, you're with the Jets and you're playing in Minnesota. And now we got Aaron Rodgers who, is playing that possum game where he's like, I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire. Give me a break. And Tom Brady's doing the same thing too. Tom Brady, though, to me, is less than Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's like, I see that you have some cap issues. Let me wait to find out who you bring back and who you cut before I decide to join the team. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, has a similar thing, but he's been fighting with Green Bay for how long now? And now all of a sudden, because they won, who, by the way, let's not put it on Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have a great game in the playoffs, all right? I know the special teams is what really killed him, but he didn't have the greatest of games in that game. I know that the 49ers disrupted it, but we thought that would have been at least a cakewalk in the snow against the 49ers. And it looks like, to me, the Packers have a lot of work to do. What are your thoughts?
I agree, man. I mean, he was out there, like you said, he was out there. He still had his, in that playoff game, he had his top guys. He had Devontae Adams still out there with him. He had the running back name I can't remember for some reason. Forgetting his name. But he had his top running back. And
Jones, I think.
Yeah, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. I'm sorry. I don't know why I forgot Aaron Jones' name. But so he had his weapons around him, and he still couldn't get the job done at home in the playoffs. And it's not the first time we've seen Aaron Rodgers do this. I mean, 2011, we all know what happened that year, man, when the Giants went to town. Went there and took them out, and it wasn't even a very competitive game. That year, it wasn't even a very competitive game.
I mean, he's done it a lot. I mean, he went to the championship game after they beat the Cowboys, right, in the divisional round, and had to punch the ticket. And then he poo-poos and complains. I'm like, this has been the story for Green Bay in a while. Zion, your thoughts?
I'll be right back in 2 minutes. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, well, we'll just keep moving on with this topic. So I think Aaron Rodgers is an issue. Like they said with the 49ers, Logan brings up a good point. If Trey Lance becomes an elite 49ers QB, will have a dynasty. I was almost under the impression of why wouldn't you put him in a package or two in the playoffs to get a spark, right? You know they can run an RPO. You know that he can throw. Kyle Shanahan's very creative. To me, that's something I would have added in a wrinkle. You already got Deebo Samuels. Why not do a back pass from Deebo Samuels to Trey Lance and then have him throw it downfield to who's that kid? Who's the kid from Arizona they got? The wide receiver number 11. He's the name's eluding me. Christian Boye or something like that. But anyways, the thing is, I know Shanahan chokes, but that would have been what I would have done. Add a new wrinkle, because if you look at it, right, Jimmy G had the ball last with a minute to go to get into field goal range, and there were throw after throw, and then the boneheaded play where, just take the sack, at least at 4th and 18, maybe throw a Hail Mary, maybe there's a penalty, maybe something happens.
Got a chance at another play, regardless. At least let it play another down.
At least let the game go out in your terms, not off of a underhand throw when you're getting sacked. That reminded me of Dave Brown, the first game I ever went to in 1997 when I was a kid. He's moving the team against the Ravens down the field, and he falls to the ground and throws the ball over his head. Like, that's going to do anything to nobody. They call it a fumble. The Giants lose the game. I sat in the stadium probably until it emptied out. That's how heartbroken I was as a young kid to my first game, watching Dave Brown just basically burn up the game in front of him. That's how I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is. When you get him, like, I know people want him to be a franchise.
Sorry, I got a phone call as soon as you called my name.
I know that we talk about MVPs and guys choking in games, but Jimmy G didn't do him any favors. And if I'm the defense, I'm not buying him lunch or next year, because you just cost me, a chance to go to the Super Bowl with your lousy performance in the Rams game. When you're doing that. Now, I know they played the Rams, but look at that. You got to be able to make those. That's why Stafford's in this game, and and Jimmy's not. And I know we're going to get into Super Bowl stuff in a few minutes. Zion, if you want to make your piece about Aaron Rodgers, then we'll hit.
Yeah. Real fast. No, shout out to Aaron Rodgers again. The guy is crazy, man. He has like 449. I could be wrong. I don't know. He has over 400 touchdowns and like 91 or 97 interceptions. Absolutely crazy. But at the end of the day, what I think they're looking at is, when I look at Cooper Kupp, I look at a guy who got 145 balls. I'm not trying to be a simp for Mike Evans. When I look at Mike Evans, if you give Mike Evans 145 balls, he's breaking 2,000 yards. I'm not downgrading Cooper Kupp, because he did surpass 130 yards in multiple games this season, and he is a really big weapon on their team. But I think the way they look at it, and I know you guys know this, I'm not talking to you guys, I'm just talking in general as a whole. I think if you take Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is no longer Green Bay is no longer Green Bay. That team does not make the playoffs. Maybe the defense carries them. Maybe Adams has a quarterback that can throw in the ball. Maybe Aaron Jones, obviously that line. So things will still happen. But you take Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay, that's a bigger loss, as if you was to take Cooper Kupp away from Los Angeles. And I think when I get it, like how you give this guy offensive player, but then you go give that guy MVP. The way I look at it is, I look at it like, you take Cooper Kupp away Los Angeles is not a bigger loss as you're taking Aaron Rodgers away from Green Bay. And I wouldn't have want them to give Aaron Rodgers offensive player and then give him MVP, because that would have took away what Cooper Kupp did. So I think with the voters and the way they did it was we're gonna give Cooper Kupp offensive player because he clearly won us over with entertainment, but then they have to somehow still, with their quota, give it to a quarterback like it usually seems to always be.
Well, then my question becomes, why don't you do it at the end of the year? Because right now he's not an MVP. He's on the bench. He's being the MVP of a bench right now.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I know you want to do. I know we do regular season, but if we're going to do season MVP, they should do it at the end of the year. And maybe the guy who wins the Super Bowl MVP should be the NFL MVP, because he's done everything to get his team there. I mean,
That's a good point. You guys are looking at. Yeah, I like that.
I like your point about
just,
without Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bays don't go. But what we saw out of Cooper Kupp doesn't happen every year. What we see out of Aaron Rodgers happens every other year with every other quarterback. So we're sitting here. Mahomes is the new guy. Brady is the new guy. 4,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. But with Cooper Kupp, we haven't seen that in a generation. We're talking about generation of athletes and fans and people who haven't seen this happen because of triple. And we're not talking about just 2,000. We're talking about a Triple Crown winner. He did everything. He had most yards, touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right.
1,900 yards, over 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns, 145 catches. That's just those are MVP numbers. That's
right.
What an MVP. To me, look at those numbers. That's the most valuable player in the NFL this past season. The last non-quarterback to win the award was what, Adrian Peterson?
Right.
I'm pretty sure he was the last non-quarterback to win the award. That was like what, 2012 or something like that?
Wow, that's 10 years. That's 10 years.
Right. And it happens in the Super Bowl as well, right?
Yeah.
Which will lead us into our next topic, which is we have a Super Bowl trivia coming up, and then we'll have a team breakdown getting into that because I know we don't want to spend too much time on it. But the NFL in the Super Bowl is the same thing, right? A guy can have a great game, but the quarterback throws one touchdown, and he's the MVP because of the one drive. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Eli Manning deserved it in 2011, not so much in 2007. For me, it was Justin Tuck in 2007 because without his plays, the Giants don't win. Throwing a lob play to Tyree is damn near luck, and we all know it. It wasn't like he saw a blue jersey and he just chucked it down, or a white jersey, and he just chucked it down there and hoped for the best.
I'm not trying to be mean, and we're all Giants fans here, but that was a miracle. Like, he got out of that. He should have been sacked. He could have been sacked. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But Justin Tuck had, a strip fumble, 2 sacks, was disruptive all over the field. And it was one of those things where, even in the second game, he was pretty good. He didn't play well all season, but for that game, he, again, could have been an MVP performance. And I think sometimes because we value the quarterback, and this is why the quarterbacks go so high. This is the exact reason why we're going to see a guy go in the top 10 when we shouldn't, because there's going to be a guy that wins this game today that's going to be Super Bowl MVP. And you're going to have a coach and a fan base praying that they get it and say, maybe this could be Malik Willis, maybe this could be Kenny Pickett. This is why they do it, because they want the quarterback to be the face of the franchise, no matter what. The only guy to win MVP that was a defensive player in the last 20-something years was LT, Lawrence
Taylor.
Look what he did.
Defensive player, league MVP.
Was the league MVP. You know how hard that is? That's why people need to understand. Because the quarterback's such a sexy position, to have a guy like LT dominate the way he did. You could even argue that TJ Watt could be the MVP with 20 sacks. 22 sacks. These are numbers that we never thought we would get to, and I am biased as well. Like, I don't like it to go to the quarterback because, again, it's why do we vote then? Why, if you're going to already anoint the quarterback, am I voting? Just give me the quarterbacks and don't even include Cooper Kupp. Don't even put his name on the ballot. Just give it, and I think the secondary prize for him is the Offensive Player of the Year. He should be MVP. You should put Aaron Rodgers as the Offensive Player of the Year, and you put the MVP as Cooper Kupp, because we're not even talking about his playoff yards, right? They said that his playoff yards.
No, you're right. That makes better sense right there.
Something yards right now in a season, so you got to still count those games, because guess what? They count those games on the record, right? The Patriots were 17-1. That's going to be a 17-1 record, not 18-0. So they count the entire body of work. So we're going to count the entire body of work. I need Cooper Kupp to be higher up on the discussion than Aaron Rodgers and the MVP vote.
And one more
whose
point
house?
About this whole
Our house.
Too,
I'm sorry, that was Logan's comment.
This situation is the fact that quarterbacks, also the way the rules are now set up in the league, are so protected, man. They're so protected. Cooper Kupp's out there taking slants across the middle, getting laid out, everything, still getting up, getting the job done, and he's. I think you gotta something to be said about that as well. These quarterbacks are so protected also that the game is made, I'm not saying made easy for them, but at the same time, it's made a little bit easier. Can't even hardly put a finger on the quarterback anymore without getting roughing the passer penalty.
What I don't like about that is it's so. I don't want to take shots at the NFL, but anyways, yeah, fuck it. It's so Aaron Rodgers gets hit, Tom Brady gets hit, Dak Prescott gets hit. Not to compare him, but that fragile kind of quarterback, the referees are all over it. But then someone like Big Ben, because he's tough, or someone like Matthew Stafford that was in Detroit, you see those kind of hits and there's no flags. So even in the quarterback, realm, there's a little bit of favoritism in
Oh, yeah.
that rule in itself. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a popularity contest as well. Right?
Absolutely.
It's the flavor of the month, right? Because the quarterback is the sexy thing, and Aaron Rodgers, and I think they felt bad for him, honestly, because you could argue that Tom Brady had a better season than him, but we're not, because if Tom Brady were still in the playoffs, I guarantee you he might be there, but who knows? I
I
mean,
like I like what you said there too. You said give Aaron Rodgers offensive player and Cooper MVP, and
right?
that would have made a lot of sense. And I
I
see you
mean,
guys' points.
think
One
about
thing
that, right?
one
Think
thing I
about
wanted to point out too before you go, I'm sorry not to get off track, but I don't know if you guys watched the Eli Manning show, but Eli Manning's such a joke because of the fact that we're talking about the Super Bowl 42. I don't know if you guys caught that, but you know how Michael Strahan was all like, come on, guys, final score 14-7, final score 14-7. Eli Manning's like, what the cameras didn't get is two drives before that. I'm on the sideline, like, come on, defense, 10-14. Come on, defense, 10-14. And I love that. I just want to bring
Listen,
that up, not to get sidetracked.
that is great, because that'll get us into one
Yeah.
of our next topics. But guys, I'm going to move on to
Yes,
a little
sir.
trivia. So
Let's get it.
we've got some Super Bowl trivia that you guys can help us answer, and we'll start with this question: what team has the most Super Bowl appearances? So if you're in the chat and you're listening, let's see what your comments are, and then we'll make our comments as
I mean,
well.
they'll
Just
get a little tougher than this. That was a layup. That one's pretty much a layup. They'll get a
oh,
little
is
tougher
it
than this.
okay? We'll make it tougher then. Let me see. What
Damn,
team has
that
never
I get it
played in the
wrong.
Super Bowl? What teams have never played in the Super Bowl?
Well,
Buco.
fast, well, fast. I know that was a layup for Mac, but can we go back to that one because sometimes I may miss my layups. Um, I don't know. I was gonna say Green Bay, but it might be Dallas or 49ers. But damn it, I'm gonna say Green Bay.
Green Bay. No, it is
No,
not.
it was 49ers, huh?
Think
Dallas
of,
is one of them.
think about the
Well,
last.
I mean,
Just think about the last 20 years.
right.
Oh, the fucking Patriots. It was a layup.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
They
god. Why
they
that
they
dynasty
win in the
really
most.
did
They
go
won
to
in
a lot,
'85. They
huh?
won in 1996, 2001, 2003, 2004,
I mean,
2007, 2011,
you
2014.
got it.
My God, it's a
Oh
list.
man. I
I
was
mean,
trying to get fancy at
Tom
my
Brady
layup,
played
Mac.
in nine Super Bowls for the Patriots himself.
2017 and 2018. Crazy, crazy.
God damn it.
The question was who
Sorry.
had the most
Gosh.
Super Bowl appearances in the modern era. We can go to the next question.
You didn't
Uh,
say modern era, but it's still the Patriots.
which teams have never played in a Super Bowl? Not have never won, never played in a Super Bowl.
I know of the
And
Texans, the Lions, the Jaguars, and Mac. Anybody else? Me and Mac is teaming up on these questions.
The Cleveland Browns never played Super Bowl.
The Cleveland Browns. Would like to
yes,
lock in our answers.
those are correct.
Yes.
Lions, Jags, Browns, and Texans have never played in a Super Bowl. Okay,
Let's get
so
a
this brings
let's
us
get
up to our next question and a topic of debate that I had this morning. Host cities. What cities have hosted the most Super Bowls?
I think it's Miami, but I could be wrong. I mean, Florida, Miami City. I could be wrong doing it. Might be Los. No, not Los. I
Final
don't know.
guesses, people.
I don't
People in
know.
the chat will
I'm
give
gonna
you.
go with. Is New Orleans
anybody in
still
the
still
chat know
around?
this one? I know
I
this
was,
one.
I'm gonna go with Florida. I'm gonna lock my answer in. I know
That's
you
a
said
state, not a
city.
city.
I know you said city, but I'm gonna cheat. Okay, I'll go with Miami. I'll go with Miami.
Uh,
I'll go with Miami.
um, anybody else? I see a couple guesses there.
Damn, it might be Tampa though.
Chris says Tampa. Logan says LMFAO, and I'm just kidding. That's not a city. I'm just making fun there. I know what that means.
It might be Tampa. It's either Miami or Tampa.
Drum roll,
I'm
please.
I'm gonna stay in Miami.
It is going to be Miami. They have 11. That will be surpassed soon by a couple other cities. Which brings me to a point, fellas. So
New Orleans got to be close.
Yeah,
New Orleans is there. I think the next runner-up was New Orleans, and then I think where we are now, LA was 7, had 7. New Orleans has 10. So Miami has 11. Yeah. But that brings me to a point. So there's been a discussion that teams have had the advantage going in the Super Bowl because now they're the home team, and it's been done twice. What do you think about a neutral site? Do you think what they're doing is fine? Do you think they need to be in the stadium?
I absolutely love this question. Sorry to cut you off there. I think it's perfectly fine because, as you notice, the Bengals are the home team. Sean McVeigh does not have his same parking spot. It's basically he's driving to the stadium. He's not going to be parking where he usually parks. Everything's switched up for them. They're not going to say the broadcast over the speakers at SoFi. It's not going to say whose house, our house. They're not going to have the Rams chant. It's going to be a Bengals home game or something ridiculous like that. I don't. Both teams home.
Well, they're designated the home team. The Rams designated the home team.
But
there you go.
Bengals are.
Yeah, but as far as like playing at their home stadium, being that even though it might be all dressed up to the Super Bowl theme, I think that that does kind of play a advantage to the team, but it just recently hasn't been happening. It only happened 2 years in a row, which is absolutely for the longest time it never happened. Years. Yeah, in 54 years, and then you got 55, and then now 56 with Miami, 55 at Tampa. I don't see it's a big problem, but we'll see. Don't use that as an excuse when the Rams dominate today. No, I'm just joking.
It's not a problem at all because we are now 56 Super Bowls now, and this happened the last 2 years coincidentally. Mm-hmm. The cities they picked these cities to host Super Bowls 2, 3, 4 years in advance. So I believe the Dallas knew they were hosting Super Bowl before the stadium was even built. You know what I mean, or whatever. So it was finished being built. So it's nothing you can do about that. It's a mere coincidence that the team that happened to play in these stadiums were good enough to make Super Bowl. I mean, if you got a problem with it back in September, we all knew the Super Bowl was going to be at SoFi. You got a problem with it throughout the season, keep kicking the Rams' ass and make sure you're not going to make the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Get it done on the field.
So that's so crazy.
You brought a great point. Sorry,
he did.
Great point.
No, he did. Yeah.
If you are that angry about it, beat them. They had to earn it like everybody else. They had to go through they weren't even home for the entire playoffs. They were a wild card team. They had one team come in, and that was Arizona. Then they flew on the road to Tampa Bay across country, which everyone thought like, hey, they're going to lose because they're going across country to Tampa Bay. Then they flew back to their home stadium to play a team that they had trouble beating in the San Francisco 49ers. I look at it like this. You know, when Giant Stadium or MetLife Stadium had the Super Bowl, I was dying for the Giants to be the first team to do that, to have it in their own backyard. But what you said there, Zion, actually makes and my voice just cracked there, a great job, Adam. You know, it sounded like a 13-year-old. But no,
I do all the time. It's good.
My point is that with what you said, Zion, makes perfect sense because if you're changing up their routine and not giving them the same locker room and giving them the visitors' locker room, then it becomes almost foreign to them, right? Because they're not parking in the same spots. You know, that makes them uncomfortable. Yeah. And, you know, someone said, oh, you know, the momentum, you know, is going to lose. I just think it's very interesting, the whole neutral site thing, because I was talking to my friend about it. He was texting me and he was like, oh, you know, they need to have a neutral site 2 years in a row, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what if the Cowboys were there? He was like, oh, it'd be perfectly fine. I'm like, so it'd be perfectly fine if the Cowboys had their stadium as the Super Bowl stadium and got there, but everybody else is not fine. So my example to him was Brazil is the host city of the World Cup.
I was going to say real fast, Adam, before you say that, I know you have an excellent point, but hey, let me talk to the city of Honolulu real fast. Yo, governor of Hawaii, y'all need to renovate the Pro Bowl Stadium, renovate Aloha Stadium, make that shit Super Bowl standards, and every year ship the players to Hawaii. Let's have a Super Bowl on the island. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Tourism.
You know what? There you go, Zion. You solved the problem. You know, they took the Pro Bowl out of Hawaii. Why not bring the Super Bowl to Hawaii? If I'm
The,
Hawaii, I'm
the,
doing it.
the
I'm
stadium
asking
wasn't
for it.
up to qualified standards. They'll renovate that shit.
Listen.
Miami did it.
Great
Miami
idea.
did it.
Great idea. Great idea. Great idea. And that would be
Sure,
even
Hawaii
better
would
for
love
both
it.
teams because they would be coming from different areas. There would be nothing. No
And
one's
it'd be
ever
a
played there.
celebration. You get to go to Hawaii to play
Exactly.
in a bowl game.
And bringing money for that economy down there. Great idea, brilliant idea. I love it. This is why I love this question.
The problem with that would be though is that you're going to have governors, mayors from all over other cities that usually do get Super Bowls. They're not going to sit down and take that.
They're not gonna like that.
You
Right.
think Miami's governor,
The amount of
Miami's
money
mayor,
it brings in.
or whatever, or Jacksonville's mayor, or Minneapolis's mayor, other cities that have been known for hosting Super Bowls. You know what I mean? They're not going to deal with that. They're going to be like, no, I want to have a Super Bowl here again. I don't want it just to be exclusively in Hawaii every single year. I want to have a Super Bowl in our city.
Facts.
That brings money, revenue,
yep.
people to your city, man.
Yep.
People aren't
Absolutely.
They're not going to stand for that, man.
Just how these cities are out here fighting for the draft rights because the draft got so damn big, right? Same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be the only problem with that. I mean, I would be all aboard with that. Just have a designated Super Bowl stadium and have it somewhere, like you said, somewhere like Hawaii would be pretty cool. You know what I mean? But I would be cool with that if that's how they want that route. I just feel like they would have a fight on their hands from other. It would be a big thing. It would make a big deal about it.
Yeah,
that's another point I was talking to him about. I was like, you have all these revenues that are built off this Super Bowl coming in, tourism, restaurants, shops, bars, a lot of stuff is brought in with the Super Bowl, and I think the owners wouldn't want to do that. And like you said,
I got a better idea. Continue though.
Like you said, if you did that, I wouldn't mind doing it in Hawaii. But like Max said, you build a new stadium like the Vegas Raiders, and all of a sudden now you're saying we're not going to have it at that venue, or you get sponsored like in New Orleans with Caesars, right? You don't think Caesars is going to be like, oh, now you're having it in Hawaii? What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? That's part of our contract to join was to get the Super Bowl.
I have it. Okay, better idea. All right. You look at Dubai, you look at Abu Dhabi. Oh, they're doing big things, right? Oil money, right? Check it. You take all the 32 owners, they each donate $1 billion. Bam, you got $32 billion. You build a Super Bowl island, and everybody can contribute. Obviously, you're gonna build the island out of sand, right? Then you're gonna build a stadium on the island out of sand, and you're gonna build some fun things to do on the island. It'll be like a whole retreat. Super Bowl Island. What do you guys think about that? Silence. I think they both left at the same time. Chat, what do you guys think about that? Build an island, host the Super Bowl on a designated island, call it the NFL Island.
The NFL Island.
Sorry, my fault, Zion.
No, you guys good. You guys both left at the same time. But Super Bowl Island?
Crazy. Well,
$32 billion to do it.
I mean, why not? You really want to know where you should play it? In Canton, Ohio, right? Right where the Super Bowl Hall of Fame is.
No, they already have the Hall of Fame. Stop it.
That's where legends are made. Why not have it under the hue of the Hall of Fame, right? If we're really talking about, But no,
I love it.
This is a great question. It was one of those things I had to talk about because it was a great conversation with my friend, and he was just basically saying it should be neutral. And the funniest part was, if the Cowboys had it, it's fine. I'm like, so basically, if the Cowboys did it, it would be okay to have it at their stadium if they were there as well. But because they're not, you're just complaining because you're butthurt because your team's not in the big dance right now. So let's get on with some more of these questions. The highest points scored in a Super Bowl between both teams. Do we know the answer to that one? A little hard.
Anybody in the chat know this is a tricky one?
It's two teams in the modern era, so there's one hint. And
I'll give you a hint. They both played in the same. They both played in the same state. Both teams played in the same state that year. Super Bowl
Oh,
teams that year.
I
Both played
remember
from
now.
the same state.
I remember
I'll
when
give
you
you a
was
little
running
hint
through
there.
these questions with us. I think I know those teams, but I'm gonna have the chat answer.
Let's see what they got.
Unfortunately, Buko, that's incorrect, bro. They did score a lot of points though, but that's not quite enough.
Let's see what Buko said. Buko says
Eagles be Pats versus Eagles versus Pats.
Eagles, it's combined scores, and no, that's not right. That's not right.
What is the question, says Logan?
Oh, big
We got a
Cass.
winner. We got a winner.
Niners versus Chargers.
Sorry you don't win anything,
Cass.
but at least you answered the question. The thing that I can give you is props to that. Hold on. Sorry about that.
You get props from the whole Premium Takes crew, bro.
Oh, absolutely. Right, big Cass, get the shout out. Let's get it. Yes. 49ers and Chargers. And what was the total? Was it 71, 74? Oh, we can't hear you.
Adam, you muted, Adam. No sound.
No sound. Try to fix.
Sorry, people.
Yeah, no, you Gucci.
Get these controls.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for tuning in.
We appreciate you answering the question. Great job. Great job. These are why we do the Super Bowl trivia. This is the stuff that people need to learn. So let's keep it moving right now. We have the highest
points, right? 75 points?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most rushing yards in a Super Bowl. Can you name the player and team?
Woo!
And how many yards that person had?
I'm going to leave this one to the chat as well. I remember you running through these questions, and I don't want to. I think I have it. I think I remember it, but I'm going to leave it to the chat.
Got to go back in the archives once again for this one, fellas. This is before you, Logan. You weren't even around yet.
Don't Google it either. Try to use your own knowledge before you Google something, and then you give us the wrong answer anyways. So, Roger Craig.
Good guess, but incorrect.
What a Craig from 49ers, says Logan.
Anybody else got any more guesses?
Any more guesses before we give it to you?
I'll tell you. I'll give you one. I like to drop a little hint, small hint. This is not a superstar player. It's not a household name.
You'll never get it.
Did he play for the Cowboys?
He did not.
No, he did not.
Did he play for Detroit?
He did not. Super Bowl, I will give you a hint.
Super Bowl.
I will give you a hint.
Super Bowls, bro. Not
and here's the
for Detroit.
Here is the hint. The hint is this.
Sorry, Detroit
their
fans.
team just changed their name. Boom. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, he played for the Rams. No. Or maybe the Washington Commanders.
He played for the Redskins. People.
That is not correct, Buko.
Corey Dillon, no.
Another good guess, though.
Good guess, though.
Okay.
So
this was the Super Bowl 22. Is the running back played Super Bowl 22? Played for the Redskins against the Denver Broncos.
204 yards.
He was not their starting running back.
I'm still lost. I don't know who it is.
It's not Diesel.
Riggins?
Because it's not Riggins. That's what his nickname was. Diesel.
Oh, his nickname was Diesel. Gotcha. I'm just gonna use it that this was a little bit before my time, so I'm just gonna use that.
That's okay. You maybe watch NFL Network. Maybe it came across.
I know that he played for the Redskins, though.
You did
because you guys
can't use that name anymore. We'll be banned.
Sorry, Commanders.
But guys, I don't. This is probably a stomper because he wasn't even a starting running back. The Redskins went into that game.
Is the
starting running back or a backup running back and a backup quarterback.
So look at that. The Redskins won in the 80s. So let's go on to the next question. I think this one's pretty fun. How much does the Lombardi Trophy weigh? That's
don't even
right.
know this one.
Let me answer the question again.
13.5 pounds.
And what is its value? So how much does the Lombardi Trophy weigh, and what is its value?
I know because you told me the answer.
Well,
but
stop.
here,
Then stop
if I
answering.
had to guess, without knowing the answer, I would have guessed 1.5.
Logan, close. The actual retail price. Now we're gonna let a few more people guess before
Absolutely.
we reveal the answer. But I thought it was an interesting question. Also, how much do you guys think it's worth? Which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
I think it's stupid. That is so cheap.
Logan, you're wrong again.
Cheap, but it's kind of cheap. It's legitly cheap.
It's made from Tiffany's, so put that in there.
It's made from Tiffany's?
It's made from Tiffany's.
They should ice out the Super Bowl trophy. I don't know if people would like that, though.
We're going to give it another minute just because we don't want to waste dead air on here, so I'll entertain you.
Can you imagine them icing out a Super Bowl trophy?
It will happen. I guarantee you it will happen. The day that happens is probably the last time I watch the NFL.
It'd be like John Cena with his spinner. Different topic.
Chris Bucco saying F this trivia. Well, we're trying to have a little fun, man. That's all. It's not my fault. You don't know every answer to every question, but that's okay.
Oh, man,
we have a couple more questions going on.
When you guys figure out the value of the Super Bowl trophy, you're gonna be like, "Wow, really?"
Yeah, you're gonna when you hear the value, you're gonna be like, "What? They do all that for that?"
Bucco says $200K.
Oh, way off. Sub up to these guys, Mac, myself, Zion. We appreciate you guys in the chat. We thought we'd do something different today. We are going to get to talking to the game, so hold tight. We have a big show planned, but we thought we'd lead off with some questions, give you guys a chance to answer, kind of interact with us. Chris Bucco is not worth $10.
$10?
This is not a McDonald's Happy Meal we're talking about right
Imagine.
now. $20 and a bag of chips.
That's awesome.
Yeah, anyone can get it at the corner store. You just need $10 and you can get your Super Bowl. All right.
Oh, that's awesome.
The answer is 7 pounds the Super Bowl weighs. 7 pounds. And it is valued at $50,000. So before you go trying to break into Giant Stadium, the Steelers
$200,000 worth of trophies.
Yeah, exactly. There's only $200,000 worth of stuff in there. You're better off robbing, John. Not that I condone that. I'm just saying.
Homies, I thought the rings was like $50,000. Let alone the trophies, $50,000.
Crazy, right? And then we have 2 more questions in Super Bowl trivia. Then we'll break it down, and we'll have team trivia coming up in our team portions of the breakdown. We thought it would be fun to incorporate a little trivia and history on the 2 teams playing in there. But
real fast, shout out to Adam. I know I always interrupt you, man, but you're doing an excellent job hosting this show, bro. I absolutely love it.
Well, it's all of our shows. This is a collective effort here. So these questions were put together with everybody's input. So, but thank you. But the next question I have, probably an easy one. Who was the first ever Super Bowl one? Who was the MVP of that Super Bowl? I know a lot of people in the chat probably don't even want to think that far back.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Probably didn't think football existed. They did not play in leather helmets in this game. I can assure you that.
They did not.
Chiefs and Packers played. I don't know who played though. I don't know.
Logan coming in hot.
Logan with Bart Starr, the Green Bay Packers.
I know him. I don't know him. I heard his name.
Bart Starr is a Hall of Fame
yourself on Bart Starr
for the Green Bay Packers.
He wins it. The MVP. Of course, he is the quarterback.
I'll go do some.
So, and the last question we have for our Super Bowl trivia portion of the show
Logan.
Is which team was the first wild card team to win the Super Bowl? Boop, boop,
Damn,
boop,
that's horrid.
Boop, boop, boop. This is a good question because I know a lot of people are going to jump to the Giants. And
I'm going to say Baltimore Ravens.
Good. No. That's
no.
Dang it.
Len Dawson, the old Chiefs quarterback back in the day. Oh, now we're really dating ourselves. Matriculate the ball at the field, boys.
I said Ravens too, though, but he said no.
The Ravens are not it. No.
It's not the Seahawks either.
The Seahawks.
First team.
No to the Seahawks.
First team.
First wild card.
49ers.
No.
The Cowboys.
No, no, no.
No,
Giants, Eagles, Commanders,
no,
Seahawks,
none of
Rams,
them.
Cardinals.
So you're just gonna name every team in the league?
I'm just gonna name every team in the league by division. Okay, it
The
was the Packers.
Raiders. The
It was the
Raiders have
Packers.
come in. The correct answer is the Raiders.
The
It's the
Raiders are
Raiders.
correct in 1980,
Eh.
beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Eagle fans. I know that
That was the
that probably
first of
hurts.
your
But hey, you won a
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl in
rebounds.
2017, so forget about the loss in 1980. You know. So, anywho, that completes our portion of the trivia for Super Bowl trivia. Now we're going to get into our team breakdowns, which is we're going to lead off with the Bengals, and we'll have some Bengal trivia sprinkled
Bengal
in there
trivia.
as well. I thought it would be fun to do this. So
A
you guys,
tiger. The mascot's a tiger.
yes, we'll get into that in a little bit. But here, let's go team breakdowns and trivia. So we'll start with the Bengals. I really like that the Bengals are in this game. It's been a long time coming. Remember when I grew up watching the Bengals, they were the doormat of the NFL. They were called the Bungles. So now to see them here rise to prominence, especially because of where they've come from in their history and how much turmoil they've had, it's pretty fun to see. And they got a nice quarterback that, they can talk about finally for the first time in their history. They've had some quarterbacks, but nothing like this. And they've had some great receivers in their times, but no one has done anything in their
It's the second year.
in this time. So, I enjoy it. So we'll start with the Bengals. Guys, let me know your thoughts on what you think about the Bengals and them getting here and some of the matchups you might look forward to.
I apologize to all Bengals fan. What a shitty organization to have a quarterback only in your second year and a really But anyways, shout out to the Bengals fans, not to diss in the Bengals nation. Who they nation, is that what they go by?
Who they?
Um who they, yeah. Nah, absolutely amazing on what they accomplished, man. You're looking at a team that never felt like, they didn't have a shot. They fought every week of the season. They ran up on the playoffs and they took control. You have a quarterback in Joe Burrow, like Adam was just mentioning, his second year in the league, taking a team that was coming off of, I believe, a 4-win season, if I'm not mistaken, to a damn Super Bowl, not letting any team get in their way. The best team in the damn conference didn't get in their way. You had Kansas City come in, didn't get in their way. They went out and they showed why they deserve to be in this game. Obviously, I like the awareness of Tigers. It's gonna bring awareness because people's gonna be like Bengals, Tigers, and be like, oh, gotta think about the Tigers. Different topic for a different stream, but we gotta bring awareness because there's more Tigers in Texas than there is in the wild. So people's gonna be thinking about the Bengals, thinking about the Tigers at the same time. And I'm not trying to make a joke there. I was being serious. And also shout out to Chase, man, LSU connection. This is a guy that believed in himself. He took a year off of college because he believed in himself. He worked on himself, and he got drafted by a team that had his quarterback, from college. You have a quarterback that if Joe Burrow wins, like everybody talks about, they would have won a national championship in collegiate and also in high school, and then also now in the NFL. And he'll be celebrating in his usual way, smoking a cigar. So that being said, man, the Bengals. I didn't really get into what they have to do to win the game, but I would say, spread it out. Utilize Nixon. Nixon's going to play a big part in this game. They got people like Trey Henderson and Burton and Logan, the linebacker. I talked about a little bit in my video. A defense that's been playing outstanding defense that's going to have to continue to play outstanding defense. Hopefully that offensive line can hold up, but I think by moving ball around, spreading it out, they have receivers like Higgins and Boyd. Obviously, that's going to help out a lot. I love the matchup between Ramsey and Jamarchase today. That's going to be fun to watch, and I think the big part of the game is getting establishing the run and not giving up on the one. Just get Nixon the ball, and you can see Nixon being involved a lot in the passing game as well. Today, I can see Nixon having a pretty big game.
Mac?
Well, what can I say about the Cincinnati Bengals? Let's put some things into perspective. The Cincinnati Bengals just 2 years ago were such a bad team that they had the number one overall draft pick just 2 years ago. They followed that season up also bad enough to have a top 5 draft pick. They added 2 players, Joe Burrow, Jamarchase, and now just like that, they're in the Super Bowl. Just like that, with still a lot of deficiencies and things that need to be cleaned up. But this team is already starting to ascend and become a top tier team. If they get to clean up a few of these things, this offensive line, they get that fixed. If they get a few more pieces on the defensive side of the ball, this is going to be a dangerous and scary team for years to come. Put that in the perspective. Let them know that they turned it around just that quick. Literally 2 years in a row, top 5 draft picks. They absolutely made the most of those picks. Absolutely made the most of those picks. Joe Burrow is already playing at an elite level at the quarterback position in only year 2, as he has his team in the Super Bowl playing today for the ultimate prize, playing for what every player plays for, what they all suited up for. Joe Burrow has a chance to take that trophy home tonight, man. And most likely, if they win, as we talked about earlier, is more than likely the favorite to be the MVP of the game. I mean, it just is what it is. So
that's true. And good point by Chris too. Sorry.
And what they need to do, and what they absolutely need to do is just stay the course, man. Keep doing what they've been doing throughout this magical playoff run. They have to. They can't. You can't make it. Can't come wait to Super Bowl and start making crazy mistakes. Jamarchase is going to garner a lot of attention tonight from the Rams secondary, man. So if it's not there, remember you have T. Higgins, you have Tyler Boyd, you got, like you said, Joemixion, who can help out in the passing game as well, and then just also whatever you've been drawing up all season long to hide the deficiencies of your very bad offensive line. Continue to do that as well, because they are going to have their work cut out for them with that Rams front. So that's the key. Just stay the course, man. Don't try to come out here and get cute for the Super Bowl. Just keep doing what you guys do, man, and just that never die, man. Never stay died. Just keep going hard, man. All day long, all night, 4 quarters. Give them 4 quarters, and remember, this is the Super Bowl, so you ain't got nothing else to lose, man. You got to go out there and go balls to the wall and get it done, man. But you still got to be smart about it. And as long as they play a good, smart, clean game, let's just go. Cardiac Cats 2.0, baby. Let's go.
Well, Mac, great points. My thing is, I will say this. I will address Chris's question again. Sorry, I've been a bad host with these comments. You got a great job with these comments, but my mistake for not showing them all, but I will get better as the second half of the show goes on, like the Bengals do. But my point here,
nice.
My point here for the Bengals is that he addressed this question, and let me read it again. I put Jalen Ramsey on Higgins and double chase and let your edge rushers attack the O-line. Well, here's the problem. You still have Tyler Boyd on the team, okay? And for me, he seems like the guy that hasn't had a breakout game yet in the playoffs. And for me, those are the guys that I think are the scariest in these moments. Because, yes, they may not have confidence, but, hey, we'll look at Manningham in the Super Bowl game. What did Belichick focus on? It's a Cruz and Manning's game. Cruz and Nick's game. Let's take Manningham out of the game. Let's take them out of the game, right? Well, guess what? Manningham makes the big play down the sideline. It's a guy like Tyler Boyd. Azuma's back, the tight end. These are guys, for me, that, not necessarily give them an edge, but let me say, okay, we can do quick passing game. Hey, by the way, if you spread them out, the pass rush is not going to have the same effectiveness as well. You can run 12 personnel, you can run 11 personnel. You can have a running back in the backfield to help chip or whatever guy comes in. There are ways to neutralize a rush. Joe Burrow has been playing the smart football of his career. See, there's a difference between Jimmy Garoppolo's play and Joe Burrow's play. Okay, Joe Burrow is taking sacks, not putting the ball in harm's way. That's why he gets sacked 9 times. Jimmy Garoppolo is trying to underhand the ball to a receiver who is in his wheelhouse, but you're falling to the ground. Just live to take another day. My point is, when you play smart, it affects the whole team. Burrow right now is playing some magic football. I don't know what it is, but when I watch the Bengals on TV, and I've watched them here and there, but really focusing on him on this playoffs, the team believes in him. And I'll say this: a lot of people were saying the Kansas City Chiefs Buffalo Bills matchup, right? Most people, I don't know, I can't talk for you guys, were saying whoever won that game is going to the Super Bowl, right? And so my thing is, if those two teams, winner of that game is going to the Super Bowl, well, guess what? Those guys aren't even in the dance anymore. So who's left standing? Who's laughing right now? Oh, it's the Bengals that are laughing. So my point is that they beat Kansas City. They've used that momentum to carry them into the playoffs and have this epic run that they're having. And they beat them in Arrowhead, one of the hardest places to play, hostile environment. And now you're coming to LA where it's all chill and relaxed in a dome. This is a game meant for the Bengals. Now, before we move into our points, let's throw some more trivia. It's trivia time for the Bengals side of things on here. So, chat, you've been great with us right now. We gave you our takes on why the Bengals have a strong thing. Hit us with your thoughts as well. Maybe we missed somebody. Maybe there's a matchup you like. Maybe you heard that they have nude photos of one of the quarterbacks, and that's why he's going to have a bad game. Who knows? Who knows? This is your time to interact with us. So let's get into the first question. This one was a tricky one, so I'm going to say it out there anyways. But when were the Bengals founded? There's two dates. They really were founded in 1967, but they were an idea in 1966. So I just want to get that question out of the way. I didn't even give you a chance to answer. So I just want to put that out there. So 1967, we'll say the Bengals were founded. Now, here we go. In the questions. First quarterback in Bengals history to bring them to their first Super Bowl. Don't cheat, fellas. Don't cheat, ladies and gentlemen out there. Do not cheat. Give it a go. Give it a once-over. Give me one shot without using Google. But again, the question for all you fans out there, Boomer is not right. For all you fans out there, who's the first Bengals QB to bring them to their first Super Bowl? Boomer Esiason is incorrect. Not correct.
Yeah, it was their second Super Bowl.
That was the second one. The blonde bomber, Boomer, was there. One of their great quarterbacks. Or, well, I mean, it's not really that great.
We got the answer. Buko just got the answer in the chat.
Did he?
Ken Anderson.
Ken Anderson. There's Joe.
Ken
Joe
Anderson.
With the answer right behind him. We'll give it
That's
to Joe.
a fact, coming in hot.
We'll give it to Joe because he said Ken Anderson, not just Anderson. We're not in the Matrix here, Buko. Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Good job in the chat, fellas, with that.
Good job. Way to go. Classified Joe, we don't really have anything for you to win except your admiration of your football knowledge. So Ken Anderson is correct. We will go down to the next question. Which former Bengal receiver changed his name to a number? This is pretty easy. Which Bengals receiver?
Pretty easy. It's another layup here. I think this is a layup. But
this is a layup. We don't have much history with the Bengals. They've stunk so much. They don't
T.O.
I get it.
Am I right? T.O.
Logan, Chad, who? We need
Logan,
the full
Chad,
answer.
who?
Ocho
Cinco Buko wins. Chris Buko, you get nothing. But thank you for playing anyways.
He gets the respect of everybody here.
You
Obviously,
props
you really
over
got
here,
that,
man.
and you get props.
And you get a high five. Air high five. Air high five. Well done. Well done. That was a softball. Now, here comes another one. Let's see if we got it. Which Bengals receiver? Quiet down, guys. They need to hear the question. Which Bengals receiver set the franchise single season receiving yards? Franchise. I don't want to hear NFL. Franchise. So throw them out there. Throw the names out there. Chat. We are with you. Let us know what you're doing. Chad Johnson was the answer. Yes, it was. Orko Dinko. I don't know who that is, Miz, but nice try.
Can you repeat the question?
The question again is: which Bengals wide receiver set the franchise record for receiving yards in a season? Jamarchase did not set the single season record.
AJ Green.
No.
Is Joel right in the chat?
The asshole works for NBC.
TJ Hujamama is correct. Chris
TJ,
Bucco got
who's
it
your
again.
mama?
Bucco,
TJ, who is
Collinsworth
your
is the
mama?
all-time leading receiver in yards, not the single season franchise record. TJ Husmanzada is the single season record holder. I could be wrong, but that's where I might be wrong.
It's funny because I like Chris. I think Chris is a phenomenal announcer, and Miz is all like that asshole who works for NBC.
I can take him or leave him. I'm not really a huge fan of Chris Collinsworth, but it's okay. It's not about Chris Collinsworth today. This is about the current Bengals and the Rams.
Husmanzada had 112 receptions with 1,143 yards and 12 TDs.
I see you, Miz.
TJ Husmanzada.
Now the last one for we have a couple more for the Bengals, and then we will move along to the Rams and give our analysis there. So the next one is what is the nickname of the stadium to which the Bengals play in? What is we are looking for the nickname of the Bengals.
I know it.
Stadium.
I know this one.
Not gonna lie, man. Bengals trivia is tough.
I do know this one though. Can I guess, Adam? I think I have this one right. The
you
Jungle.
Yes, you already told
the Jungle.
You already told the fans that you listened to the questions yesterday, so you can't.
But I forgot until this question come out, so I never got one right. So I need to get one right.
You get
the Jungle. The Jungle, Adam. Final answer.
Let's see who. I'm not going to say yes or no, confirm or deny. I'm going to give a couple more people in the chat a chance to answer before we go down that road. Thanks, Zion. Oh, my source, Zion. Thank you.
Everybody's getting it in the chat. Everybody's gotten it right in the chat now.
You know what? Fine. Okay, fine. Next question, you guys. Just kidding. I love it. Next question.
Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Chris.
And this is the last Bengals question. And after this, we will move on to the Rams on our Rams analysis before we make our Super Bowl predictions. And then we'll have a segment where we can bring you guys on. You guys can talk quickly about what you want. We might have a few people in the chat. So you come on, give us your question. We'll give a chance to answer it. Then once we're done answering, we'll move on to the next caller. So, but the last question for the Bengals: who was the 1995 draft pick, number 1 overall that the Bengals chose in 1995? So the Bengals' first overall pick in 1995 draft. Who was it, and what school did he go to, and what position did he play? Let's give you guys some time here. Ooh, Joe!
Already, Joe answer. Hot.
Is that how you say
Joe was the first answer. It's Kajana Carter. We'll give it to you anyways. You're close enough, but Joe was the answer. 1995, he was a running back.
Penn State running back. Oh, damn, Joe.
Penn State running back. Look at that. Out of Penn State. This is why we have a coincidence happening in New York with a Penn State running back and blowing out his
always get hurt.
The only difference with this one is that Kajana Carter didn't play much with the Bengals. He was always injured. At least Barkley has had a couple seasons playing.
Kajana Carter got hurt in his first preseason game, if I'm not mistaken.
That is the first time hearing his name.
Like his first touch.
So here go ahead.
His first touch, he got hurt?
Like literally like one of his first touches in his first preseason game. He tore his knee up and was done for his rookie season, and he never recovered.
He never played or recovered. Well, he played sparingly, but he played chronic injuries.
That is the first time I ever heard of his name.
And Penn State running backs haven't done well. Curtis Enos 4 years later by the Bears didn't do well either. That's why Penn State running backs have had a curse. Linebacker wise, different story. But
before Kajana Carter, there was a guy named Blair Thomas also that was a huge bust out of Penn State running back for the Jets. Bucco might know
Terry
about
Collins
that one.
Was the quarterback in the Rose Bowl, which was the national title that year in 1994. He was the number 1 overall pick. And then he eventually came to the Giants after a bout of alcoholism and a falling out in Carolina. The Giants scooped him up on a cheap deal, and, the rest of the essay is history. He went on to play a few more years with Tennessee and the Raiders. Kerry Collins, man, what a solid quarterback to play. See, that's the thing about Kerry Collins. He would do pretty well in this era. He had a strong arm, big-time thrower of the football. If you really wanted to do a play-action game, he was your man. Like this, you want to use a quarterback who had a good play action. He was, because he could literally launch it 70 yards downfield. I remember a game against the Indianapolis Colts. They did a flea flicker to Amani Toomer, and Kerry Collins laced it in there.
That was
70
Mrs.
yards.
comment.
Miz coming in hot, but So now, boys, on to the Los Angeles Rams. Everyone's main event, the feature, the already presumptive champions. Why even bother to play the game? Because these guys are winning. Why even show up? So now we can get into our analysis. Miz, you are a comedian today, but because I don't want to make fun of Sam Darnold right now, even though it would be funny. He is having troubles in Carolina. He probably is looking for an outlet as well to quell his stress of losing with that franchise. But without further ado, the LA Rams. We will go with Mac, then Zion, then myself on who and what we think the Rams could do to win this football game, and then we'll get into some trivia with the Rams team.
Well, the Rams, man, they're just a team that just got it together, man. They made all these big moves, these bold moves, trade away all their first round picks for like 5 years in a row or whatever, and they just, it's coming together. It came together at the right time in the playoffs, man. The continuity with all the moves, they started off a little sluggish. They had a couple of weird losses earlier in the season that were a little head scratching, but when after they acquired some of this talent, but they've gotten the continuity. They've started to put it together, and they've become a very dangerous football team. I mean, they've been dangerous all season, but it's like really now running like a well-oiled machine offensively. As long as Matthew Stafford, the moment doesn't get too big for him, he doesn't make those big mistakes that he's known for making at times. The Rams could be punching their ticket tonight, man. And that defense, what can we say about that defense? Is devastating. The Cincinnati Bengals offense will have their hands full with that defense. But actually, both defenses are going to have their hands full tonight, because I think both of these teams bring very, very explosive offenses. So I think that as long as Matthew Stafford can avoid making those big Matt Stafford mistakes, the Rams' chances of this is as good as anybody else's, man. Like you said, also, they are playing in their home stadium. It's not necessarily going to be a home crowd because this is a Super Bowl, so people come from all over for the Super Bowl. But at the same time, it's in their home stadium, in their backyard. Apparently, Corey, I didn't realize this, but they're designated the away team. They're not even going to be changing in their regular locker room. So they mix it up a little bit for them, make them feel a little more uncomfortable, man. You know what I mean? So we'll see how the Rams do. But as long as I said, I think their biggest thing they have to overcome is Matthew Stafford not making that big Matthew Stafford type mistake he's capable of making at times.
Giving him the crappier toilet seats, huh? Yeah, I see how that works. If you make them uncomfortable when they use the bathroom, it's your key to victory. Put them in a different locker room they're not comfortable with. People that they don't know who's been sitting on what. That's how you make somebody uncomfortable, those germaphobes. But you know what? I'm going to jump in here because since LA is Zion's team, I'm going to save the best for last. So I will jump in here and give you my take on the Rams, and then we will save the Godfather and his take on his team after this. So I think the Rams – look, I want to say this. The Rams, congratulations to them to getting there. This is what they did. This is how they built. Personally, I think they're better off next year winning, and that's not anything. I think they have a lot going on for them right now, and they happen to be gelling. But they worked hard. They've earned every minute of this, right? They traded their guys. They've come in. They worked the playoff run. Remember, they weren't the top team in the division, in the conference. Green Bay was. So they had to earn their shot just like everybody else to get here. So when they say, like, oh, you're playing a home game with your team, to me, they're not really – they earned that right. They earned that right when they knew the Super Bowl was in their backdrop of their stadium that they were going to every day. Yeah, that gives me a little bit more energy in my step when I'm coming to play. Oh my God, if we get here, we're going to be home. We're not going to travel. All these arrangements are settled for us. But getting back into the game, I think for me, Stafford is the big key. Mac hit the point on the head I wanted to make, is that Stafford sometimes has this Brett Favrean type of game where he'll miraculously throw 4 interceptions, and you're like, what happened, right? And let's be real. If that happens and they give the Bengals more at bats, the Bengals will eventually figure you out. Remember, I guess the problem that I have here is that we all liked Kansas City. Then let me ask you guys a question before I move on with my Rams point. If Kansas City's in this game, are you still picking LA? If Kansas City,
Kansas City, yeah, absolutely.
okay, Mac. If Kansas City's in this game, would you pick LA instead of who would you pick in that scenario? Well, I have a method to my madness. I want to get there, but
I would probably pick Kansas City.
okay. My point is, we were talking about the AFC representative was in the Bills Chiefs game. That's what everybody said. And now they're not sitting here. So the LA Rams are not going to be playing some pushover Bengals team that they don't know. They need to play on their P's and Q's because unlike the other games, you're not going to have Jimmy Garoppolo throwing you the football, okay? If they do what they did against Tampa Bay, they could be in for a rude awakening at the end of that game. They let Tampa Bay back into the game when they had their necks on their throats because of turnovers and keeping that team in the game. If they want to blow the doors off, you got to blow the doors off from the opening kickoff. And don't even let the Bengals believe they have a chance because that's what they're supposed to do. You bring in all these A-listers, Stafford, Ramsey, Odell, Cooper Kupp, Von Miller, Aaron Donald. You have all the A-listers on your team, and guess what? You're in Hollywood anyways. It's the right ending. But to me, the key factor is Stafford. I believe the Bengals are going to put up points because if they look at all these high-powered offenses that they played, Tampa Bay they scored points against. Arizona scored points against the defense. The only team that didn't score points against them was the 49ers, and we all know who was at quarterback in that game. So my point is that I feel like the Rams, in order to win, don't take this Bengal team lightly, and Matthew Stafford can't throw interceptions. I just feel the Bengals, and we're getting back into the Bengals, but the Rams need to just think above the X's and O's and not sleepwalk through the games like they've done in a few of these playoff games. Zion, I'm sure everybody
Doesn't get it.
Here it is. The man, the myth, the legend, Zion. Take it away.
Whose house? The Rams' house. You already know what it is. Here's the thing. If I wasn't a big Giants fan as I am, I would have had an Aaron Donald jersey by now. I would have had a Ramsey jersey by now. But I'm a diehard Giants fan. I'm not going to put that on my body. What I have to say by that is, though, Miz is dropping facts on facts on facts. I want to say the future. I want to say the future of coaching. Call me crazy. But you have a coach in Sean McVay that when you're Bill Belichick's of the world retire, when you're Mike Tomlinson's of the world retire, you had Sean Payton that retired, when you're Andy Reid's of the world retire. That's a future of this of coaching in this league. We got Sean McVay, a young coach that absolutely already took a team to a Super Bowl, and he knows how it is to lose a Super Bowl. He said at the beginning of the season, he went out there, he got Matthew Stafford because he felt that Matthew Stafford could win him a Lamborghini, and he didn't feel that Jared Goff could. Basically, he didn't say that, but he said it with the moves that he made and the willingness to give up draft picks upon to bring in this team with a bunch of veterans that already know the game of football. You know what I'm saying? I like the way that he kind of changed things up. He's not taking the original route of building through the draft. He's taking the route like, yo, I see all this talent. Let me just build a super team full of veterans ready to expose a young team that's going to be in really uncomfortable situations. I'm not saying that Bo's not good. I'm not saying that the defense is not good. I'm not saying that Chase is not good. Chase is going to get open because Chase gets open. He just gets open. It's what he does. The Bengals will move the ball, but you got a team in the Rams that is just a well better greased engine. You know, this is the Rams in a Ferrari going up against a Nissan GTR. I love the Nissan GTR. That's one of my favorite vehicles ever. But the Ferrari smokes it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about without modifications. You have a team that have a lot of players that's not acting like their younger selves. This is not young Ramsey. This is not young Beckham. You know what I'm saying? This is people that is more humble now in their life. That all they want to do is win as a team, and they've been playing as a team. This is a team that struggled in the playoffs. It wasn't easy, but as a coach in Sean McVay, the future of this league, like he got his team right, made some adjustments, and went out there and won. Now people can say a lot of things could have flipped a different direction, you know. But we can say I can say the same things for the Bengals as well. You know what I'm saying? But players was there in key moments, and situational football matters in both teams. my final outcome of the game is I'm gonna have the Rams.
Wait.
Who
We're gonna get into that. We'll get into that
All
now.
right, real fast. But don't. I real fast before we get into that. I just want to say Matthew Stafford. Um, they're not gonna come out today and overutilize Matthew Stafford. Obviously, Matthew Stafford's gonna take down shots down the field, but I can see the Rams. They just activated Harrison. They have Cam Akers. They have Sony Michelle. Watch them utilize the one game heavy. The Rams are gonna go out there tired out the Bengals defense. Utilize the one game heavy, and then by the second half, you can see some obviously receivers are going to be involved, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take some stress off of Matthew Stafford and utilize the one game at the three backs.
Great points. Before we get into our thoughts and our MVP predictions, I just thought that we'd do a fun segment with a little bit about Super Bowl memories. See, what was your first Super Bowl memory? What is maybe one of your favorite games outside of the Giants Super Bowl winning? Let's take the Giants out of this. We have two categories for that Super Bowl winning favorite game. One is, what is your favorite Giants Super Bowl? Since we're all Giant fans here, that you've seen or wanted to see, or that have won. And what is your favorite Super Bowl memory outside of the Giants? And it can be anything, any game, any memory.
I'll go first and fast. This is probably not my favorite memory, but this is my first memory of seeing the Super Bowl. I don't know if most of you know this, but I grew up a basketball fan. Like basketball was my first love. Like I used to play it. That's why I was a big basketball fan. So my interest in football wasn't really big. It wasn't really as big. So I got into football probably later on in my life, but still kind of younger at the same time. But I wasn't there watching it at 3. My first Super Bowl memory is 2005. Patriots versus the not Patriots, sorry, Steelers versus the Seahawks. Um, and I remember not watching the game because I was outside playing with my friends. But I remember running back inside the house and seeing the game on TV and all my family gathered around and watching it for like 10, 15 minutes as a kid, running back out to play and coming back in and seeing the importance on all the adults and how like they really absolutely like loved the game and how this was a bigger moment because I used to just see Mcveigh on TV and like, okay, cool, that's Mcveigh, but how everybody just appreciated this moment. And then that's when I really started falling in love with football and then doing my research and watching the older Super Bowls and all of that kind of stuff. But I'll let you guys go.
Great, Mac, you want to go and tell me a
Yeah.
game or memory you like?
Well, if I start with the New York Giant one real quick because Miz already done stole my thunder a little bit there, but yeah, definitely for me it's that 1990 New York Giant team, man. Super Bowl 25. That was, I mean, I'm a 13-year-old kid then, man. I just remember just over my dad's house watching the Super Bowl. I just got a little New York Giant starter jacket, New York Giant hat. I was ready for the game, man. It was just an exciting game all the way through. Watching some of the milestones the Giants accomplished in that game. Jeff Hostetler made one of the most underrated plays of that game that people don't talk much about, but he took a safety. But at the same time, he could have fumbled that ball, coughed it up, and the Bills would have scored a touchdown, man, right there. But the fact of just being able to hold on to that football with Bruce Smith all over his ass, who at the time was a premier pass rusher, one of the best to ever do it, a Hall of Famer, So that game and then the wide right, the field goal at the end, that right there, that was just, it was like so close, but so that memory right there always sticks. How the drive after the halftime in that game. The first drive we came out at halftime and just pretty much took the whole third quarter away from the Buffalo Bills. And that game, just drove the ball downfield methodically, and then cashed. That game, man. That's my favorite New York Giant Super Bowl memory. Super Bowl 25. And there's no offense to Super Bowl 42 with that beating the undefeated Patriots. I obviously love that as well, but for me, Super Bowl 25 is my favorite memory there for the Giants. And then overall Super Bowl memory, I actually go to Super Bowl 22, I believe it was. It was the Redskins against the Denver Broncos. Yeah, the year after the Giants beat the Broncos. The Redskins against the Broncos. And that's just a memory I remember because as a little kid, it was a big deal, man. Super Bowl's a big deal, biggest game, and the Redskins were coming in there with the first ever African American quarterback to start a Super Bowl, and he actually went out there and he won the damn thing, and he was and Timmy Smith we talked about earlier, also was a backup running back because Doug Williams was a backup quarterback. He wasn't the actual Redskins regular starter, I don't believe, and they went out there and they made history, a record-setting Super Bowl. I'm sure those records have been broken, most of now. I don't think the record for points scored in the quarter have. I don't think. That second quarter was an absolute explosion in that game. The Redskins scored 35 points, I believe, in the second quarter of that football game. That's just always a big moment for me, just because of what it meant back then. To see guys, I got a quarterback from Grambling who played college football at Grambling start and win a Super Bowl. That was a big deal, man. So hats off. That was my biggest Super Bowl memory overall.
The one that I will go to for me is the 1994 49ers Chargers Super Bowl. You're like, why? That one's a blowout. It was the first time I really was introduced into football. Right? My friends were liking it. I didn't really know too much about it. I didn't really watch too many of the playoffs. I caught a Giant game. That's why I was like, oh, yeah, the Giants. And then the Super Bowl was happening. I watched it from start to finish, in the pageantry, the lights. Once the ball was kicked off, the flash bulbs that were going off. The fact that they had this, it was on a grand stage, and the 49ers who, if I didn't live under a rock, so we knew where the Cowboys were. They were on every Sunday, right? So, and a lot of kids in my school like the Cowboys. So the fact the 49ers dethroned the Cowboys for going to their third in a row, right? It was a big deal. And then the Chargers, that year I also saw them play, and they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers with a last-minute touchdown in the back of the end zone. And so I followed them, and that's when I started, I really love this game. So I fell in love with the 49ers, and Jerry Rice was in that game, and they threw for over 6 touchdowns, Steve Young. It was crazy. So that was my first, and from then on out, I was like, I want to follow the Super Bowl from here on out. None of my teams were there, but, that was great. Here's a couple guys in the chat, and I'll get to my Giant one in a second. Otis captured his dream, which he said, yes, he did. He did mention that. Otis Anderson, he should have technically, he should be in the Hall of Fame, if you ask me. Marcus Allen, best run, and the best winning Super Bowl 25. And then for me, the Super Bowl best winning one for me, and I know I was alive for all of them. I was 2 for the first one, 6 for the second one. So that years I really didn't know what was going on. So for me, it would be 2007, because the way it happened against the team they played, if you're a fan of a team that has won championships prior to your lifetime, it's a dream to actually see them win one. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you get one every 25 years or so, or every 10 years or so, you get a championship, right? So the Yankee fans know more about it. You're a Met fan, you're always constantly chasing one, right? So, here I am, a kid who's grown up in the shadow of New York City most of his life. His team's finally getting there, and to do it with a quarterback that was much maligned, a coach that everybody hated, you know what I mean? A team that nobody believed would do anything once they got to the playoffs, to me was the most epic run for me that I loved, and it will always have a place in my heart. And then not to mention the parade after it. I remember telling my parents, I'm like, listen, I'm going to that parade. I'm going to miss work, school.
I love it.
You never know when they're going to get back there again. So, and then not to mention the plays that were in the game, right? This is where I knew we were going to win the game, was obviously the Tyree thing. I said, nothing's stopping us now. Because if you remember in that game, Asante Samuel missed an interception, then Steve Smith, who made probably the biggest play in that Super Bowl. And the biggest play in that Super Bowl that doesn't go mentioned, to me, I knew it was winning. And then you see Burris alone.
Jesus.
So I'll never forget Joe Buck's call. I listen to it nowadays, and I still get goosebumps, because 2011 was awesome, and I'll never take 2011 for granted. It was a great run, but 2007 for me, still, everyone beat me down. The Giants never going to win. That man stinks. Tom Coughlin's a piece of crap. Blah, 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 blah. And here we are, 2007, about to make history. We didn't just beat one team. We beat the greatest team in probably the history of the NFL.
If no team would have won to beat us, they would have definitely be considered the greatest team ever in the NFL, the Patriots.
Right.
That's fact.
One of the greatest teams of all. 17-1 is the hardest thing to do. in this game, and it would have been 8. Right now, it would be what? No, I don't even know what it would be like. It's
We'll
so many
stop living in the past, he
Right,
said, Buko.
stop thinking about it. But just think about that. It'd be like what? We play 17 games, so they play 2 or 3. It'd be like 20, 20 0. 20 0. That's crazy. And Buko, I'm not trying to, make fun of you in terms of living in the past. All I'm saying is past championships, it's interesting. I know, Miz likes to bust your chops with it, as you can see here.
That's so messed
I'm
up.
still waiting on a Super Bowl, but he has the last laugh. Our team is still in the dumpster now. We're talking about a Bengals team that's up and coming, and his is in the dumpster. But no, the point is, those are the memories. Like I said, I know the '94 Super Bowl wasn't great in terms of play, but it was my first memory into the big game. So just wanted to bring that up.
Fast before you move on, I wanted to say too, like also too, 2007 is probably me favorite Super Bowl as well. But in the 2011 game, what I did like in that game too is just being a Giants fan and having that confidence of like, yo, we don't have to get a touchdown here, and you know what I'm saying, like cheering for him not to score, just having that level of like we're about to win this thing, you know what I'm saying, and being so dominant. At the end of both games. That's why I absolutely love both 2007 and 2011.
Well, if we want to keep it on that trail just a little, because we're all Giant fans anyways, and since this is a Super Bowl show and we don't have to necessarily just focus on everything, and just for the sake of time, I don't think people really care about a halftime discussion, but the halftime show will be fun this year.
Yes,
hip hop fans. But right now, what's up, Head Squad? But before we get into that, I think the Super Bowl with 2011 was interesting because I really like the Q Knicks and what they did there, and I think he gets overshadowed by Victor Cruz. I know Cruz had a great season, but he was my favorite player that year. He just when you needed a big play, you counted on 88, man. You went to the 88 club, and he had that touchdown against Atlanta, and that's when I knew, oh my God, we might be doing it, because the first run was interesting for me. Right, they go into Tampa Bay. I'll never forget this. So we can maybe talk about where we were on these 2 runs. And Mac, you've seen all 4, so you can talk about all 4. But I was in a bar with my friends.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's get it.
The night before the game, we're having some drinks. I was of age, people. Don't get it twisted. So we were at the bar chilling, and the NFL Network comes on and says Tampa Bay versus the Giants in the playoffs. And he turns to me and goes, the Giants have no chance, right? I said, okay. I went home that night. Got up the next day. Boom. That team came out. They was ready. They put a hurting on Tampa Bay like they ain't never seen them before. Like Tampa Bay had no idea and Jeff Garcia was getting sacked left and right. Amani Toomer, big play. Brandon Jacobs. I go back to my friend. They go, oh, I guess they didn't win this week, huh? So the next day, I go to work, right? And now I'm wearing my Giants stuff. Now they're playing the Cowboys in 2007. People I didn't even know stopped me. Big game on Sunday. So the momentum is starting to build. And I'm like, what is going on here? Everybody's got this. Now, I was confident, a quiet, confident guy. I'm like, we could probably beat the Cowboys. There's all these things going against us. They're 3-0. They're 4-0. They've beaten us twice a year, yada, yada, the whole 9 yards. Wearing this jersey. Go to the game, right? Have a party at my house for the game where all the fans are rooting except for me for the Cowboys. Everybody in there is like, oh, we're going to the Cowboys. I'm like, great. Here we go. All these haters in my damn house. I invited you over, and you're not even ready for my team, right? So here they are, just going bananas. And they asked me, Adam, what do you think is going to happen? I said, we'll keep it close. So the game goes on, and we have these Cowboy fans cheering. End of the game, boom! I'm running around the house like, boom! Get out! You all get out! Because R.W. McCorder seals the deal with Tony Romo. It was fantastic. The next week, I'm at home by myself. Don't know why. I guess my friends are away, but I'm watching the game by myself. I said, I want to be alone. I don't want to, if the Giants end here, because at that point we beat the Cowboys. That was my Super Bowl. I was like, you know what? If the Giants lose to Green Bay, I'll be satisfied because the guys with the stars on their helmet got sent home. Right? So to me, I had the one like, yeah, but the Giants beat you. So they go into Lambeau Field, coldest game they ever did play. Tom Coughlin's cheeks about to fall off his face, right? And I'm sitting there watching the game, and you see Lawrence Tyne kick this ball through the uprights in this cold, and he's running like a maniac to the other side of the field with his finger pointing. I was like, man, it was so surreal. The Giants are going to the freaking Super Bowl. Remember, I was alive for the 2000 Super Bowl. Let me tell you, man, that was a gut punch. because I really liked that 2000 team, Kerry Collins and everything like that. So when you got there, and we won't even get into the questionable holding call that happened in that game that changed the momentum of the game. Thanks, ref. I think it was one of these crooked refs. Who calls defensive holding in the middle of a football game when you're allowed to tackle the running back? But I digress. So, anyways, we get to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl finally happens. We win. I have people over. I kid you not. When they won and the confetti went off, I ran down the street on the phone with my parents who had just called me. And I'm like, we won the freaking Super Bowl. I can't believe it. It was so great. The most amazing thing I've ever seen. And they're like, what are you doing right now? So I'm running down the street yelling at the top of my lungs, waking up the neighbors. It was like midnight, right? It was midnight. We've had a few too many. And your team just won the Super Bowl. So that was pretty amazing. So I've rambled on, but I just had to bring
up. You could, bro. It's not rambling. It's a premium take, Adam.
Awesome. That's good stuff. That was good stuff.
Let's get it. You want to go, Mac? I can go. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go real fast because you have all memories of warfare. Not to age you. I'm sorry about that. We got 2007. Where was I? Funny story. I was with my uncle, and he went to his friend's house with my uncle, his wife, my mom, sister, me. I was going into the 9th grade. I was thinking about transitioning to playing receiver. Actually, went to my uncle's friend's house. He was watching it. We was watching it with them. I'm not even making this up, and I tell you this. I was watching it with Patriots fans. And there was elder fans too. I don't want to offend anybody, so I don't know. There's so much cancel culture out there. But let's just say those experienced people I was watching it with, and they knew their history. And just being that that younger generation, I was just picking their brain, and there was, as I was watching the game with them, there was explaining why the Giants have a chance, and being that they're probably like in their 70s, 80s, you know what I'm saying, and they've just been football fans their whole life. They've been Boston fans, and obviously there's explaining the teams they're fans of before those Boston fans and everything like that. All I remember, man, is being in the kitchen and like making the plate and then them just screaming. And I didn't see it live, but then when I came out, like I was actually, and I just remember seeing the replay of David Tyree catching the ball on the helmet. And as soon as that happened and it showed the replay of Eli escaping, they all looked at me and they're like, you guys are going to win this game. You're a Giants fan. You guys will win this game right now. You guys are going to win this game. And I remember just sitting in front of the TV and watching the rest of it and like eating my cake or whatever the fuck I was eating. Sorry for swearing. And then, that was just like a moment I could never forget because of the fact that like I was watching. I was so new to football at the time. I just became I was a Mcveigh fan, but really, and I still understand the full concept of. No one does. It's so much complex. This game is so complex. But not really understanding football and being introduced into football and being that my team won the Super Bowl, that was just a extremely happy moment for me. And if you go to 2011, funny story again, I'm not making this up, on my grandma and grandpa's grave on both of these stories, man. Like I was watching with a group of my other uncles. We went to his old high school friend's house, and she had 3 sons, and those all Patriots fans. And so, and I'm not making this up, but I tell you this: in 2011, it was me with a bunch of the. I was a little bit older. I was in high school then, and just graduated, just coming out of graduation, and then I remember going to the house and seeing all the little Patriots jerseys running around, and then watching it with the family, and then again seeing that memory of us winning in 2011, man. And so both times watching it with Patriots fans. I was the only Giants fans that I never knew a Giants fan growing up in Hawaii. I probably knew a couple, but it's a bunch of Steelers, a bunch of Cowboys, a bunch of Patriots, and you get a bunch of Green Bay. We have a mixed plate in Hawaii, but those are the fans. You see a lot of Cowboys, Steelers, and Patriots fans, and of course your Raiders fans. But that's mine, and let's pass it over to Mac.
Oh man, I'm gonna just go over these pretty quickly and briefly because I see We got other things to talk about, but yeah, like back in '86, man, I was a little kid then, barely understanding football, but just knowing what it was. I definitely knew who Lawrence Taylor was, and knew what he was doing on the field. But I remember that like Super Bowl that year. Me and a little buddy of mine I was in school with. We had a little bet on the game. He was swore the Broncos were going to beat us. But like a quarter or something like that, like lunch money, whatever. That was like lunch money back in the day.
I love it.
Like a little quarter on the game. It was just funny. That's like
I love that.
I'm only remember, and I remember doing it.
Kids, man.
And I remember doing the game that night, watching the game. We're all obviously I'm home with my family watching the game. We're calling each other back and forth. I'm calling like we're killing you, man. Like we're killing you, dog. Better have my quarter on Monday. Have my quarter tomorrow. Like, and then the 1990 Super Bowl, I was still a kid then too, but I was a teenager then. I was 13 for that one, and that, like I said, that was my favorite Super Bowl. That whole run that year, it was just magical, man. Things that happened. That was the went and beat Chicago Bears in the divisional round. Remember they had a old defensive lineman named Dan Hampton that was retiring that year. I remember his interview always because I have a cousin that's a Bears fan. And the guy Dan Hampton that was interviewing him he was like, this could be your last game. He said possibly if you guys don't beat the Giants. He said we're gonna win. He said I want to retire on a Super Bowl winning team, and then the Giants ended his career. That you know what I mean, on a very sad note, a 31-3 trouncing, if I'm not mistaken. Then went on to San Fran, and nobody gave us a chance out in San Francisco in the championship game. I mean, I'm not celebrating injuring anybody, but we know what Leonard Marshall did to Joe Montana.
Thanks, hit squad.
In that game. I mean, he absolutely crushed Joe Montana in that game. Put him out for a couple of years.
Woo, that ruined his career.
I mean, Lawrence Taylor coming up big, as always, in a game-winning field goal from Raul Allegre. Oh, yeah, I'm dropping names right now, old school. Yeah.
That's right, Mac. You show them.
But, and then
but we're coming with facts.
That 2007 run, man, also, once again, remember going into Tampa Bay. I'm angry because at that time, we had a better record than Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but yet they won their division, so they got to host the game against us. People trying to talk, but we went in there and took care of them. And in the Cowboy game, Jerry Jones.
Sorry, Mac. We will be taking calls in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Sorry.
Jerry Jones dropping tickets on his players' seats for Super Bowl.
I forgot about that.
Remember? Yeah. Oh yeah. And then obviously after the post-game interview, Terrell Owens, I love my quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
That's what I've ever seen.
Like,
oh man.
And then the Green Bay game, Tom Coughlin's face. I was genuinely worried for Tom Coughlin watching that game. His face looked like if he would have crushed it, like it would have just cracked completely. Like it was bad. It was bad.
Chewing his fucking juicy food and shit.
Speaking of age, people, he was an older gentleman, okay? So we had concerns about Grandpa Coughlin.
Yeah.
Green Bay, okay?
Well, that man
used to that Plaxico Burress, man. The effort that Plaxico Burress gave us in that game, man.
Yes.
I mean, that one for the ages, man. He was cooking. Who was that dude's name? He used to play for the Eagles that played for the Packers.
Al Harris.
Al Harris, yeah, he was cooking that dude. Oh,
because I remember Joe Buck going, he's undressing Al. Not Joe Buck, the Green Bay announcer. You know how they do the recording of the game? They're like, the Green Bay announcer goes, Plaxico Burress is absolutely undressing Al Harris on the field. So I'll never forget that.
And then, of course, also iconic from that game that people may forget about, that Brett Favre's last pass in a Green Bay Packer uniform was an interception to Corey Webster. Let's go, man. That run right there, and then obviously Super Bowl speaks for itself. The helmet catch, the finding Burress in the corner.
I love the cornerbacks in those games too. Sorry to interrupt.
And then what the things the defense did, that pass rush in that defense, man. We had Jay Alford, who was like a third or fourth round pick that year for us, come in and get that big sack late in the game against Tom Brady, man. It was just one of those games. That was one of the New York Giants' absolute best rookie classes that season, man. That was a great, tremendous draft they had that year. Jerry Reese was executive of the year.
Yes.
Good old memories, man. Good memories, man.
Forget about that. Aaron Ross. Forgot about that guy.
Absolutely. The 2011 run. Also another one that was just, I mean, Eli. This one was more Eli. Eli put this team completely on his shoulders
MVP
for that 2011
year.
run. He absolutely put the team on his shoulders, man. And he just got big production from everywhere, man. He had guys like Jake Ballard and Bear Pascal making plays, man, because Eli was elevating everybody's level of play, man. Yeah, so we know what Cruz did that year. Hakeem Nicks, Mario Manningham, and of course we had the two-headed monster, with Ahmad Bradshaw, and
Brandon Jacobs.
And Jacobs, yeah, I don't know, my fault, and Brandon Jacobs, but
good?
and the defense was once again solid for the playoff. The defense was not good most of the year. They got hot at the right time, and they were still solid for that playoff run, man. That was just, once again when I just close my eyes and look at and think about that pass to Manningham down the sideline, all Manningham had to do put his hands out, and that ball just dropped down in there, ever so perfect, like as if Eli Manning handed that thing off to him, man. And on that stage to be able to make that throw in that moment. Oh man, I'm just glad I got to see it, man. I got to see it sober because I couldn't drink for that Super Bowl, unfortunately. I was a bad boy. I was a bad boy.
Whoa! All right. Well, these were absolutely awesome stories to get into and talk about. Again, this is a celebration. The Super Bowl to me is twofold. It's a culmination of the end of the year, but a celebration to the beginning and start of a new one, right? Because once the sun goes down and the final gun goes off, we're all 0-0. Puff your chest back up. Start throwing your 11-5, your 12-6s, or 12-5, 11-6s records out there. Because guess what? You'll be able to do that come Sunday night. But speaking of which, let's get into our final game predictions, and then we'll open it up to some phone lines. Obviously, like I said, we had a halftime segment we wanted to do, but I really don't care about halftime. I mean, this one is pretty cool with the artists that were going on, but it's halftime. I mean, if you guys want to,
you're good. Awesome artist, represent the West Coast. Let's get it. Moving on.
All right, boom. So my prediction is, and I don't really like predictions because I'm sure someone will be trolling me when I'm wrong, but that's the price you pay when you do this type of stuff. And so let's get to it. Guys, since you are a guest on my show, I will let you guys go first and let everybody, or not my show, my channel, right?
Yeah, you good.
I don't mean to be obnoxious.
You continue. You know what you meant.
Show, but my point is, since I'm the host, I'll let the guests go first. If you were in my house, that's what I'd do. So Zion and Mac, flip a coin. Flip the Super Bowl coin as who's going first in game predictions.
Mac, if you want to go first,
I'll take this one, man, because I know me and Zion are going to be on opposite sides of this prediction anyway.
Yeah.
And I definitely do, like I said, I'm not going to waver. Cardiac Cats 2.0, Cincinnati Bengals, let's go, man. I just like what I see from this football team. They will not be denied. They keep finding ways to get it done week in, week out. The things they've done in this playoff have been absolutely magical. To go to Arrowhead Stadium and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium in the AFC Championship game, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that right there. The fact that people counted them out of that game early and they still just kept grinding, and found a way to get back, take it back to the divisional round in Tennessee, the number one seed in the AFC. Got their superstar Derrick Henry back, running back in the backfield, and buried Joe Burrow 9 times in that game. And he still figured out a way to keep getting back up and still keep making plays, man. This team I've seen this type of story before, and I just believe they're about to write another chapter in the same book, man. They're a team of destiny, absolute destiny. I just feel good about what I see when I watch the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think they're going to find a way to get this win tonight in SoFi. I don't care if the Rams are playing in their home stadium or not. It doesn't matter.
He's looking at the camera, telling you this right now.
Straight up, yeah, straight up. Cincinnati is. I just feel like I can't bet against them.
What's up, Bills?
Right now, they're the team I can't bet against right now. It's Cincinnati Bengals because
up,
they
Will?
just keep finding ways to get it done. So Cincinnati Bengals is going to win this, and I think it's going to be, let's see, I think the magic ball is saying 33 to 28. 33-28, Cincinnati
I have a
Bengals.
close score like that
28.
too. But Mac, you were looking into the camera, looking like you're ready to beat somebody up. I love
I
it.
love it.
Go Bengals! He's looking at
I
it like
love
they're
it.
gonna
I
win,
love
and
it.
that's the reason why. I love it. I love it. I love it. Zion, let's hear your take. And obviously, this is going to probably, be a little different than Mac's.
There's only one team that I had being the Rams at the beginning of the season because I had the Rams representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. Made the proper moves in season to get them there as well with the addition of Mac. Oh, sorry, not Mac. Sorry, Von Miller and it'd be awesome if Mac played for them. What? but Von Miller and OBJ. You already know what it is. I'm with my man Chris. I'm with my man Miz by double digits easily. Call me crazy. Roast me tomorrow if it doesn't happen. 38 Rams, 24 Bengals. Let's go. High scoring football game. I love both defenses. Both defenses are gonna show up, but at the end of the day, with both talents on both sides of the ball, there is gonna be some big plays. I wouldn't doubt it if Beckham breaks one for 40 yards and a touchdown. I wouldn't doubt it if T Higgins breaks one for 30 yards and a touchdown, 50 yards, and there's gonna as much as I think. As much as it looks like it's gonna lean towards a defensive to a mid-scoring game, I absolutely think that things it's a Super Bowl and anything can happen, and I think it's gonna be high scoring with the Rams pulling ahead early and the Bengals not being able to catch up. So I got 38-24 Rams.
All right. Well, that was a different take on the Rams side. I'll give you mine. By the way, thanks everyone in the chat and watching us. We're about to open it up for some calls. Ask us a couple questions, give you a chance to get your piece out, and then we're going to move on depending on how many people we got behind us. But for me, I'm going with Houday Nation, baby. Why? Because they're a team of destiny, and teams I do not get in the way of. Why? Because look what they've done. Max said it best. 9 sacks against Tennessee. 9 sacks. And then we go up against Kansas City, which I know we were in all these other streams and chats and then media were like, that's the greatest game I've ever seen. That team's going to the Super Bowl. Blah, blah, blah. And guess what? That team is both the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs aren't there. You know why? Bills lost to Kansas City and their Fugazi defense. Okay, and then you have Kansas City losing to the hottest team in the playoffs right now, and that's the Bengals. And so for me, I'm looking at it like this. Everyone's like, oh, SoFi Stadium, the Rams have no problems. Guess what? You have more problems because if you don't win in your home building, in your home city, in front of all your home fans, how's that going to look when you go to a dinner party later? Like, oh, yeah, you lost to the Bengals in your own home stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to say, oh, neutral site, neutral. This is how I look at it, man. The Bengals got nothing to lose. They playing with house money. They were 2-14, 4-12, and now 10-6. And here we go. You got here. You got nothing to lose. You're going to play loose. You're going to have fun. You're going to dance around, do what you got to do. It's the people in LA I got to worry about because I got all them celebrities that are there. All them parties I'm already thinking about. Matthew Stafford, where am I going to cry?
They're focused.
OdellBeckham.
They're veterans. They're focused.
Already got the W rented out. He's already probably got the W suite ready to go. I mean, he's got the champagne ready to pop. He's not worried about that. Oh, we got the Bengals. I'm going to sleep on them. Well, then guess what? Who that nation walks in with Joe Burrow?
Mcveigh is not letting his team overlook the Bengals.
And he takes it out on you and he starts burning that cigar at the 50-yard line as he accepts the MVP trophy and says, Houday Nation, we're here. The champs are here. I think it's going to be the Bengals. It's fun. I'm having fun. We're all having fun on today's show.
Real fast.
Bengals.
Especially to my two co-hosts. Actually, finish up. I want to hear your score prediction.
Bengals 34, Rams 31. It will go off on a field goal, and that's how the game is going to end. Magic cats, cardiac cats, call them what you want. The striped boys are bringing them home.
You know, a lot of the experts absolutely have it. That's why the Lions is minus for Ram, -4.5, 3-point game. I could see it being a close game too, but I just think that Bengals are gonna get exposed. Question to my two co-hosts. I get it, gut feeling, but really, ask you guys self, what does that even mean? A team of destiny.
Have you seen a team of destiny? The Giants were the team of destiny. They had no thing to lose every game.
But
next one and the next
but
one.
bro, I'm not saying I'm not saying that Burrow can't do it. I'm just saying,
Listen,
about to get exposed.
Everything keeps going right. Everything goes right for them. No matter what happens, no matter their backs are against the wall. Like I said, early in that championship game against Kansas City, people were writing Cincinnati off, counting them out of that game already. Early in that game, they never stopped fighting, and they just kept fighting and fighting and fighting until they ended the fight on their terms.
And what happened, right, Mac? They capitalized on the turnovers that we were talking about. The greatest equalizer in sports is turnovers. And
overcoming a 21-point deficit at one time? If it was
yes, they were down 20. Actually, they were 17? Down more of an 18-point deficit.
17,
right? It was 21.
That's a lot of points against Kansas City. That's a lot of points to be down against Kansas City.
Right. And to get the ball back in the third quarter. Remember, the Rams got the ball back. They stopped them and then went downfield. They took advantage of the second half. They made adjustments. You got 2 weeks for this Bengal team to fix it. You don't think they know their offensive line stinks? Hello. You don't think that they know that this is a better team than them? Hello. Like we don't live under a rock. This is not no offense, Mac, the 1980s where they didn't have as much social media as they do now. Everybody in the world knows what's going on. Right? I mean, you know what's going on. You can't tell me that they don't. Look at this Bengal team. Look at Joe Burrow's suit. What a ridiculous suit. I love it. I love it, Joe. I love it. You go get him. Yellowstone. He's got a cowboy hat on. He's going to Yellowstone those mother flippings. No, but what I'm saying is that I like a team of destiny. I think a Bengals team that's counted out. No one even thinks they're going to win this game. Everyone thinks it's going to be a blowout. And I'm like, wait, they just beat the best team arguably in football. Because it's a toss-up between Kansas City and LA. And they just beat what we believe, at least I believe, is the best team in the AFC conference and the team that was going to represent the Super Bowl. You don't understand what that does for guys. They're not scared of the Rams. They're not scared of SoFi Stadium. Max said it best. They went into Arrowhead. I don't know if you guys understand. Arrowhead is one of the top 5 worst places to play as an opponent in the game. Right? Yeah. Yes. One of the worst places, if you're a Kansas City fan, is one of the best places. But one of the hardest places to play. That in Lambeau Field when the weather turns. So they went in there in the most hostile environment, down 21-3 at halftime, and didn't say, all right, we're the same old Bengals, we're going to lose. They rose to the occasion. So what makes me think they're not going to rise to the occasion now? But let's bring in some fans.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to drop the link in the comment section here and then also on the YouTube comment section. So come in and talk to us. Let us know your thoughts. Give us a story. We'll go for the next, I guess, half hour or so with calls and things like that, and then we can go enjoy our parties. Which brings me to a point. What is being served for Super Bowl meals today? I know I'm cooking some wings and a dip they're having. You guys got any special dishes? Any special?
I'm not a special kind of guy when it comes to the Super Bowl. I keep it pretty normal, pretty regular. I'm a wings and pizza, and I also have my beer. I'm a beer drinker.
There you go. I got a couple beers.
Like Steve Austin would say, a beer drinking son of a gun. I'm that. That's me right there, bro. So yeah, I definitely need my beer, man, and my pizza, wings. Good with that, give me some mozzarella sticks or something like that if you can. I mean, I'll do a little bit of cold cuts too. I'm all right, open. Keep it pretty.
Well,
basic.
call in if you'd like.
I don't get too fancy. I don't get too outside the box with anything. I like to keep it pretty simple for the Super Bowl.
Hit Squad, Taj, you guys want to come in and join us? The link is in the comment section. You can tell us what your favorite meals are.
Absolutely.
Zion, you're from Hawaii.
So like
dishes down there for the Super Bowl.
Nah, honestly, we don't. If we're going to a party, it's usually like potluck things where we kind of, bring everybody dishes. I'm kind of like Mac too, you know. If I'm chilling by myself and I'm just watching the game, which is awesome, you know, I just fade away to cloud nine on my medication and whatever my heart desires. When I'm up there, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that may sound good today. So you know, whatever my medication decides, I get, and it's usually chicken because I love chicken, and sometimes it's pizza. I love burgers, fast food, everything unhealthy. And then you know what? But sometimes it might be a salad. But whatever my heart desires, I'm gonna get. Yeah, I fuck with salads. Chicken Caesar, even some just regular salad with like some vinaigrette
This
oil.
is the Super Bowl, and you're messing with a salad. You get all this great food in front of you, and you want to go eat rabbit food.
My heart desired some KFC right now, so I got some KFC. But
I want some KFC too. I'm going to get a side salad with my KFC just to be a little healthier.
Well, I actually did get a salad with my KFC because I got some coleslaw. So that's technically a salad in a way. So, yeah, let's get it.
VPS,
let's get it. Hey, what's up, Slay?
What's going on? Happy
Join
Super Bowl
the party.
Sunday, bro.
Super Bowl party.
Yeah, what up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What up, though?
Good, how are you? Welcome.
Yeah, I was just checking out this amazing show. You know, I was just chilling. And then I was watching your little trivia answers earlier, and that was fun. You know, kind of answered some questions here and there, but hey, man,
this is what we do here. You know, we try to make it a little different. You know, it's not the same old. You know, we could talk about our team till we're blue in the face, but what does that do? We want to educate the world on what's going on right now. So thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed that segment. Premium Takes will be doing a lot more stuff like that down the road. This is our special Super Bowl edition. Being that we are broadcasting live from on site in Vegas. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're all in our different rooms of our homes. But yeah, we're here having a good time. We just wanted to change it up for you. So I'm glad you enjoyed the show. But what do you got for us?
Yeah, this is gonna be one amazing Super Bowl. You know, you have two teams that have been to the Super Bowl combined 3 times, I think, or 4, because the Rams went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they beat the Titans in 2000 or 2001. One of those.
Fifth combined.
5th.
The Rams went 3 times, twice with Kurt Warner, once with Jared Goff, and now once with Matthew Stafford. And the Bengals went. This is their 3rd time in the Super Bowl. So we're even off. It's 7 times these teams combined.
Wait, this is the Bengals' 3rd time, you said?
Yeah. So they've been in it combined 5 times. I personally feel like your MVP predictions, I feel like it's going to be Cooper Kupp for the Rams, because I think the Rams are winning this game. And I believe Cooper Kupp, you know, he'll get the most attention, obviously.
Really?
He was 19 yards shy of breaking Calvin Johnson's single season record in terms of yards. That takes a lot out of any player.
And he's a smaller guy. He's not as big as guy.
And that's Calvin Johnson we're talking about. That's not some dude that sucked. He was one of the greatest receivers that ever touched the football. That dude was a monster. And he was 19 yards shy of breaking that record.
You don't get a cool name like Megatron and suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Right. You get store screen or something, you know?
Exactly.
Dude could catch it over 5 defenders. And
you'll get Steve Urkel as your name.
Right. But I have the Rams winning this game 38-34. I think it's a shootout. Shootout for the
Hey, match that. Let's get it.
I hope so.
And I liked your idea earlier, Zion. You were saying we should have a Super Bowl on an island. That's a dope idea.
Yeah, well, the Hawaii has that stadium, right? Have them upgraded, and instead of going to the Pro Bowl, you can go to Hawaii. Everyone wins, right? Everybody wins. It's a beautiful city, beautiful little town, beach town. They get the tourists to come in. They may hate it, but they may not. But it brings money and revenue to Hawaii. And what I mean, what do you want? It's going to be a beautiful day, ideal conditions. Maybe the volcano erupts while the football goes on.
It's all dormant, but yeah, it could happen. You don't know.
You never know. You know, they spike the football.
Also, too, like it'll work out better because, like, it wouldn't work out better. I'm just thinking, like, it's 6 hours from it's 6 hours from New York time, 3 hours from Cali time, so they can start the game in Hawaii. They started at like 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Right. Well, the point, the other point is that that would be the most neutral that we could get it, where it's still within the continental, within the United States, right? Because these teams bid. The thing that people forget, and this is why it won't happen, is revenue is tied to it. These teams are tied into it, and the owners want that notoriety because, God forbid, their team doesn't make it. The Super Bowl's in Arizona next year. How many of us believe Arizona is going to the Super Bowl next year? I mean, if you're Arizona, when the game ends tonight, you're definitely thinking about going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're going. Woo! 0-0, everyone's 0-0, right? So you can have that aspiration. To me, I don't really care what they play. You can play on the moon. I'm going to watch the game. Just give me the Lombardi at the end of the day. It's about the championship. We can play in the mud, the dirt, the parking lot, wherever you want to go. Just give me my ring so I can acknowledge that I'm a champion, right? But we all know, because of the commercialization of it, because of what it, like I said, what it brings. People don't realize.
Well, just look at one of the top seats tonight. One of the top seats is going for $80,000 a seat.
Damn, that's more than the Lombardi Trophy.
$80,000 a seat. There's like hundreds of $1,000 packages for these celebrities and shit like that. And
I'm not worried about that. But look at the individuals at the game, the pageantry that comes with it. The whole everybody's coming in
vendors,
for those. Those exactly
TV
all the
channels,
things that come in.
Coverage, other countries.
Right. Your city gets to be on the map. LA built the stadium knowing they were getting a Super Bowl, and they wanted it in LA for God knows how long, right? Because they moved from LA to St. Louis to LA.
They probably got their money back.
Right. I mean, two teams play there. It's a beautiful stadium. I understand the neutrality of it, but at the same time, in 54 years before the previous two, no one's ever done it. And so now we're going to change everything up because in 2 years, a team earned the right to be there. It's not like they were like, oh, the Rams are, 0-17, they get to play in the Super Bowl. That would be unfair. They earned the right to be here, and not for nothing, they were down in a few games, and teams could have put them out, or we wouldn't be having this conversation right now of whether it should be neutral. You know what I mean? Because then it won't be a whole team. What if Green Bay wins?
Here's my final piece. My final piece on this whole neutral thing, too, is it is a neutral location because in September, there is no Super Bowl matchup. There's no two teams that are in the Super Bowl yet. You have to, like you said, earn your way there. We already know where it's going to be at. You knew it was going to be in SoFi Stadium 2 years ago. The Super Bowl this year was going to be in SoFi Stadium. So it's not like it's some kind of thing where the playoffs started and they said, oh, we're going to have Super Bowl in SoFi Stadium, even though the Rams are in the playoffs and have a chance to be the home team in the Super Bowl. No, it's not. Exactly. It's not done like that. Like you said, these are neutral locations, and you have to earn your way into the Super Bowl. And the fact that the Rams, who happen to play at that stadium, earn their way to the Super Bowl is just how it worked out this year.
Yes.
I mean, it just is what it is. It's only happened these last 2 years. I'm sure going to end up happening again eventually. You never know. I mean,
Arizona next year.
Beautifully said. Yeah, absolutely.
But think about this too. Think about the pressure it must be as you're the host city, right? And they're talking about the Super Bowl going there every week of the NFL season, and you're sitting there trying to just be the Arizona Cardinals and sneak up on opponents and everything like that. No, now you're in the spotlight because now, guess what? The last two teams have had it at their stadium. Will you be the third to do it? So there's going to be intrigue. There's going to be drama. I think it builds a lot more. Do I think a neutral site will happen? I think if we're talking in the earlier setting of the Super Bowl, yes. 60s, 70s, 80s. I can see that. Even in the 80s, it probably would have changed over. Then I understand the Northeast, right? You can't have in the Meadowlands. They have winds and everything. You want an even playing field as perfect as you can get it. So to me, that's why I don't care that it's in Miami or in the Dome or whatever, because everybody's got the same element minus the team. If you want them to travel to the moon, fine. You want to travel to the moon, but look at this. Look at the Rams coming in. Oh my God, Aaron Donald's a huge man. And that plaid shirt does not do him any justice. It ain't even a plaid shirt. Sorry, it's a tie-dye shirt. That's live right here on my show. You're getting play-by-play clothing analysis of the Super Bowl. Matt Stafford wearing a black T-shirt. Must be going to a funeral. His funeral. Oh, just kidding. But let's go. Players are arriving at the stadium. This party is about to kick off. BPS, you got anything else for us?
I got something. 5 years from now, the Giants. The Giants have won the NFC East. How does it feel? Now. You have won a Super Bowl trip to Hawaii.
5 years? I got to wait 5 years, man?
I'm just being super realistic.
super
Not
realistic.
super realistic, but
What are you,
you
super
know, I said 12-5.
Man,
I said 12
like I
and 5
said,
this year. Look what happened.
Cincinnati Bengals had a number 1 overall pick just 2 years ago in the draft.
Yeah, but they got
They're
the
playing that
best
today.
quarterback in the draft. We're going to have to put in Mike Glennon to get a shot at the first overall quarterback in next year's draft. So and people, the lines are open. Let me put that StreamYard link in the chat. Come in, join us. Super Sunday. It's a party or a funeral, depending on what side of the fence you're on.
Just come on in and share your thoughts, man. Give us a Super Bowl memory or something you got.
Somebody might be sad because the season's coming to an end, which is fine. I mean, that's over, and some people may be happy because now they can go crazy on their predictions and talk about whatever it is that they talk about. Screw up free agency because we never know what's going to happen. There, we think they're going one way and they go another way. The NFL draft, probably the biggest crapshoot on the planet, but we put so much stock into it as if our lives depended on it. Like we're like, and they're always wrong. It's funny. We make all these mocks and everything. You look at Todd McShay and Mel Kiper and DJ Jeremiah, and you watch these mocks, and sometimes I try to compare them, and man, things get crazy. People get nuts, man. Because remember, everybody has their different flavors that they want. You like chocolate, I like coffee. Somebody likes vanilla. BPS likes Rocky Road.
Yeah.
And so if you desire something more than somebody else, you're going to make a move to get there because you're afraid that somebody else might like Rocky Road or chocolate or whatever. So for me, I enjoy this part of the season. I enjoy the Super Bowl. I always take it. That's why I'm wearing Giants gear today, because it's like a celebration of the football universe, right? Everybody who's a football fan should be watching. I know a lot of people don't want to watch, and I think it's dumb. It's like watching your favorite program and not knowing what the finale is, right? Like, who am I living up to?
I love the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sometimes not a great game, but look at it like almost a little mini holiday. You come together at Thanksgiving, you come together at Super Bowl. It brings people together, whether you're watching the halftime show, DRDRE, which is going to be a good halftime show, by the way. Probably the best I've seen in years.
Kendrick Lamar too. That's definitely gonna be fun.
I mean, you got folks on Kendrick Lamar. I'm waiting for JoeCool to get up on stage, right? Mary J. Blige, but I'm just saying, like, you're spanning generations. People are coming together for this. This is why I like the Super Bowl. This is the essence of sport.
For me,
and we might get to see a couple.
Yeah, go ahead, man. My bad.
I was gonna say we might get to see a couple cool commercials, along the
way.
Exactly. Even the commercials are entertaining.
All right. See, for me, like a Super Bowl memory to answer your question on the Super Bowl memory thing, I would say it was 2016, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Patriots. Now everyone remembers that Super Bowl. Just drinking some Hawaiian punch, right? And then Julian Edelman makes one of the greatest catches on the century. Like, he catches it, and he still catches it because he has 3 defenders lurking on him. And the ball, it looks like it hit the ground, but they review it, and they realize that he caught the ball. That had me mind blown. Like, I don't know how we made that catch, but that was an impressive catch. That Super Bowl, that was one of the greatest Super Bowls ever.
That was a great memory as well. Thanks for sharing that. Chris says, I feel bad for the significant others of the losing team this year. Super Bowl is a week later and the Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Or the winning team. It could be a happy day, right? They do those commercials, the Super Bowl babies, right? Because the team has won. And then all of a sudden the fans come out in September or whatever it is, and they have their Super Bowl kid because of that night. So it could go either way for you, depending on what happens. Your team wins. Maybe you get lucky in Vegas, and maybe you get lucky somewhere else, right? So maybe if you lose everything, you lose everything. So apparently Miz is going to be calling in, so more people are going to call in the show. BPS, you can hang with us until we get a couple more callers, and then we're going to have to rotate guys in and out. But yeah, man.
We didn't hit over. I mean, I'm off at the top of the show. We should. I forgot. We talk about this Hall of Fame class, man. I just wanted to give props to the Hall of Fame, the 2022 Hall of Fame inductees.
Let's mention that.
A couple of which I felt like should have already have been in the Hall of Fame. I'm stunned that Tony Baselli wasn't already in the Hall of Fame. I'm stunned that Sam Mills wasn't already in the Hall of Fame. Those are my two biggest.
It's all about guys.
Biggest names up there that I felt like should have. I thought they were already in. Didn't even when I saw that they were in the Hall, I'm like, what the hell? I thought they were already in the Hall of Fame. But I mean, and then but also props to Richard Seymour. What was that? Bryant Young, Dick Vermeil. I'm not familiar with the two older gentlemen that made it in on this class as well. But props to all of the Hall of Fame class, man. It's the first time I believe they said that no first ballot Hall of Famers made it.
Wow.
People that were eligible for their first year, none of them made it. Guys on their first ballot, see them jumping around back there, man, ready for the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
yeah, I gave him airtime.
There's that little ball of energy. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yo, side note, I just want to say, Logan just told me this as of like right now. CJ Ozuma is playing with a sprained MCL in this game.
He's active, yeah.
Yeah, shoot him up, let's go. Shoot him up and let's go.
That's
like Mac was saying, the Hall of Fame class might look a little weak, but there are actually guys in there that deserve it. Tony Baselli is one of them. Leroy Butler, the 30 and 20 club, 30 interceptions, 20 sacks in the season.
Dick Vermeil. Yep.
Yeah. So we got him on. Sam Mills, man. Sam Mills should have been a lot longer. I mean, he was on that good defense with the Saints. They had a solid squad, with Keith Jackson and all that stuff. So Sam Mills, and then he was on the Carolina Panthers for a while, which people forget. And he was just a great ambassador to the game. So,
yeah. Dick Vermeil, too. You got to throw that dude in there. Just
you know what, though? Dick Vermeil, he has a Hall of Famer, but I'm not, was he really the greatest coach?
No, not at all. I just feel like he did a lot for us, just for me and the Eagles.
I didn't really have time to look into his Hall of Fame class, but I have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead, come on. I mean, Dick Vermeil to me, he's won one Super Bowl, went to two others and lost. So I mean, yes, he invent the greatest show on turf. He did. I mean, he put that team together, which was one of the best teams I've ever seen play, but also one of the softest teams I've ever seen play, because the rules didn't favor them.
You cut out there.
But
hey, what up, man? How you doing, man?
But yeah, I was just gonna say Dick Vermeil is. I mean, I still think he. But he still. I mean, he's still a deserving member of this class. I mean, he still accomplished some great things. He came to me like he did. What he did with the Eagles back in the '80s was some pretty phenomenal coaching. I mean, the Eagles didn't exactly have great superstar teams, loaded teams.
Yeah,
but
we did beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship though. That was a good.
But then we took over the Rams as well, and then obviously what happened there. And then he even had a pretty decent run in Kansas City for a couple of years, so didn't work out for him that well there. But he still, he still got some things accomplished there.
Sorry about that.
Help get that team turned around. Miz said he's backstage too, Adam.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't see him up here. So BPS, we're going to let you go so we can bring in Miz. All right, BPS. I don't see him back here.
Oh, he said he was. He said he on the chat. He said he's backstage.
I don't see nobody. I just see Miz. I see BPS. I see Zion. Me? Oh, I see him down here. Sorry. How do I remove this guy? Oh, okay, Zion. Sorry. Miz. Sorry. Damn it.
What up, Miz?
What's going on?
What's going on,
Super
Miz?
Sunday, Miz.
I know.
What's your thoughts?
Super Bowl
Your memories. Anything Super Bowl spready. Go. You have the floor.
My memories is like Mac. I wrote my biggest memories 1990. I was 14. The Giants had kicked the field goal to beat the Niners 15-13. That was a shocker. The Niners were going for a three-peat. And Matt Barr had 5 field goals that day. That was amazing. Then the Giants played Buffalo in the Super Bowl in the New York Super Bowl. So, and Jim Kelly was one of my favorite players in football. So for me, it was special to have Giants in Buffalo. And it was also happened to be during the Gulf War. So that was something that was big at the time. And
All right.
yeah, that Super Bowl was amazing, man, because the Bills was the best offense we've ever seen in football up to that point. And for the Giants to lock them down to 19 points after they just scored, I believe, 53 against. I know the Bills played Miami and the Raiders that year.
The Raiders. It was the Raiders they beat really bad in the championship game, I believe.
Yeah, they put 53 on the Raiders in the snow, and then they put like 45 on Miami, I believe. So that offense was no joke. It was a no-huddle offense. You know, Kelly, Andre Reed, Lofton, Thurman Thomas, all those guys. And the Giants hold them to 19 and pulled the game out 20-19. I was only 14. That was amazing.
With those names you just said, that's 4 Hall of Famers they had on that offense, that Bills offense. That is 4 Hall of Famers. Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Lofton, and Andre Reed. Right. All 4 of those guys are in the NFL Hall of Fame right now. And that was on one offense. And the Giants, like Miz said, took them out, man, that year.
That's insane. I love it.
And I believe they also had BB, right? They had BB.
Don B was, I believe, on that team, yeah.
So look, that Bills team was, till that moment, was known as the best offense in NFL history. So, you know, I believe they put a 50 on like 3 times that year. You know, and we're talking about before the Patriots came along, you know, so the league really never saw scores like that. So the Bills had a sick offense. They invented the no-huddle offense, I believe. And you know what's funny? Earlier that year, the Giants played them in week, I want to say 12 or 13 in a rain or sleet game. And we lost to them 17-13. But again, the Giants defense shut that offense down twice that year. So, and that was the game where we lost Phil Simms.
Yeah, it was the game he got hurt in.
And they lost Jim Kelly that day. So,
Yo.
What up, Logan?
That was one special moment, and the other was the 07 Super Bowl, of course, when the Giants shocked the Patriots, and this entire city went fucking nuts. I went nuts.
Ironically, my son was born on that day. He's a Patriot fan, and you're a Giants fan.
He's getting it. He's getting it.
The Patriot side. What? That night was crazy. I had like 35, 40 people in my house. I ended up underneath all 40 of them when Plaxico caught that touchdown.
I love it.
I felt like the floor was going to fall through to the apartment underneath us because it was like crazy. And then everyone went out into the streets all night long and went nuts because it was a shocker, you know? You beat an 18-0 team. You didn't expect it. You were huge underdogs. It was just such a shock. And I guess those are the best ways to win when you really don't expect it.
Right. And what is your thoughts for this game?
Special.
Your thoughts for this game?
And I'll be honest, in the 11th Super Bowl, Adam, we kind of expected to win that game already, you know? So
right. Well, after we beat the 49ers, it was a different story. Right.
And after this 07 run, we felt, as fans, we felt comfortable. I felt like more comfortable going into that game.
Well, it's funny because in 2011, it was like we beat Atlanta, and we're like, that was a cakewalk. And then we go to Green Bay, and that we're like, all right, they were 15-1. I'm like, we just beat the best team in the NFC. Now we go to play the 49ers, and at that point, I'm like, yo, we're winning that game. We're winning that game. And Eli played probably one of his best games ever in that game.
As soon as you beat the 49ers,
giant football game.
When the screen wrapped up and like the clock hit 0, and like as soon as we beat the 49ers, I just started crying because I knew we won the Super Bowl. I wasn't trying to overlook the Patriots or anything, but just the emotion came out because we beat such good teams heading to that Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And
we went on some crazy runs.
Let's get your thoughts on today's game. I know you had some thoughts in the chat, so let's get your thoughts on what you think might happen in a few hours.
Tonight's game, I like the Rams tonight big. I just feel like the Rams are just going to be overbearing for this young team that's ahead of its time. And you got players on the Rams that have been waiting years for this opportunity. And I'm a big believer in historic defenders don't let this moment pass them. And Donald, and you got 2 of them on that line, Donald and Miller. So I feel like those 2 will not allow this game to get away. And then somewhere halfway through the third quarter into the fourth, I think the Rams will pull away. They'll start shooting the ball around the field. Yeah, and you got those two receivers and Akers. I mean, let's be honest. The Rams are loaded on both sides of the ball. Nobody talks about that they're playing a home game in the Super Bowl, right? Everybody seems to have ignored that part.
We've talked about it all day today.
Oh, I missed that because when you talk to people in the gym or around, nobody mentions that. No one on TV. It's crazy. Nobody mentions that because I get it. It's a Super Bowl, so no one looks at it as a home game. But listen, it is a home game. So.
Right, and we mentioned that earlier about the neutral site, the neutrality of having the game someplace else. Zion brought up a point about playing it in Hawaii or a place different, so it's very neutral. But I said this: you earn it. You can earn it to be there. I mean, if the Giants won in 2013, they'd be in MetLife Stadium. Am I going to be like, oh my God, we're playing a home game? No, you're not. You're not.
Yeah,
we finally got to the stream, my man. The legend.
Hey,
Chris
what's up,
Chris? Take it away, my man.
Real fast,
What's
Chris,
up, guys?
I'm gonna let you go real fast, Chris. But to answer that question, I agree with you on that. But the Rams are not gonna have their I know they're playing on their turf, but they're not gonna have that whose house my. They're not gonna have that sound effects in the stadium. And the whole schedule is different. Like Sean McVay's working is different. Locker rooms are different. So that might add into some effects, but I get what you mean. They're on the same field. And what's going on, Chris? Sorry to interrupt.
Buko.
Let's not much, guys. What's up?
Your Super Bowl memory, your first Super Bowl memory, whatever it is, whatever game you like, and, your thought process.
What's your Super Bowl memory?
I don't even remember my first Super Bowl.
I'm going to mute your mic, man.
I think my first Super Bowl memory, was the Panthers-Patriots Super Bowl, to be honest. And I just remember Jake Delhomme. He always used to lick his fingers and stuff. And I hated that guy because he always licked his fingers when he threw the ball, and that was so annoying. And for this Super Bowl, I don't know. I think I could see the Bengals winning. I just think the Rams are going to win, and I think they're going to win by double digits. I have a feeling that if you go by the Bengals games, they barely escaped the Raiders game. They barely escaped the Titans game. And, to be honest, I feel like the Chiefs just choked that game away. Had they kicked the field goal before halftime, they win that game. And I just think the Rams are going to – I can't see McVeigh being 0-2. The only thing that scares me is the fact that no one's talking about it is the Bengals head coach used to work with McVeigh. He was the quarterback. He was their quarterback.
He's got the dirty photos.
So that scares me a little bit because he probably knows all the tricks and everything. But I still think the Rams win, and that's about it.
Let's get it, Chris. I love it.
Do you think Zach Taylor held up the dirty to Sean McVay and say, "Don't win, or these are going to come out"? Just kidding. But good take there, Chris. But I feel
McVay blew that Super Bowl last time he said it because he was scared of Bill Belichick the way he ain't gonna be scared of Zach Taylor this game. I think he wins, and I wouldn't be surprised. They're saying that he might retire because he wants a family life. I could see him winning the Super Bowl, retiring, and becoming a broadcaster.
Get me a break.
But I mean, definitely respect your opinion, Bugo, Chris. But this you said it already. You said it just now yourself. The Bengals just keep finding ways to pull these games out, man. Even when their backs are against the wall. You said they just escaped Las Vegas, but they won the game. They got it done. They just escaped Tennessee. They got it done. It doesn't matter how it's not in it for style points, bro. It just matter about the results, the W, the win or the loss.
Let me ask you.
Just keep finding ways to win.
That's the scary part, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals win. That's the only thing that hesitates me. It's the fact that they've been it's like one of those teams of destiny stuff, and it's like I'm hoping I'm wrong though, and the Rams win, to be honest, but we'll see.
Let me ask you this, Chris: if the Kansas City Chiefs had won the game, what are your thoughts on the game?
I think, to be honest, I might be taking Kansas City if had they won.
So therein lies my argument is if you think Kansas City was going to win this game that they're in now, and the Bengals just beat that team who they believe is the best team in football, what do you think their mindset is going into this game where they're like, okay, you say that the Rams barely escaped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's be honest. I mean, they got tied in that game, and because of a great throw by Matthew Stafford, it was, turnover central. So if that happens against the Bengals, who happen to capitalize on their mistakes, we can be talking about a different outcome. Because remember, Kansas City had mistakes. They did a screen pass, ball got tipped up in the air, interception. The Bengals had it punched in, did the 2-point conversion, punched it in, stopped them when they needed to stop them. It just takes little plays like that add up to have a team win, like Max said. So, hey, I'm in the underdog thing. If the Rams win, I don't have a dog in this fight. But I just want to see a team like the Bengals, who have not experienced a championship in their life, to get one. And Joe Burrow is playing above his mind.
All I know is Joe Burrow better put on some comfortable shoes because he's going to be running all game.
And that's why I agree with Zion. It's like I get all that the Bengals beat the Titans and the Bengals beat the Raiders, but at the end of the day, it goes by matchups, and I just feel like the Rams match up really well with the Bengals because you can put Ramsey, like we said, we can put Ramsey on Chase, or you can just put Ramsey on the second receiver, double Chase, and it's like I don't know if I get the Titans had 9 sacks against the Bengals, and they still won, but I still think Matthew Stafford and offensive weapons on the on the Rams are better than the Titans. So if the Rams sack Burrow 9 times, let's go
through that. Let's go through that. Right now,
if the Rams sack Burrow 9 times, that's 2 touchdowns at least.
The Rams have Cooper Kupp. They have Odell Beckham Jr. Their tight end is banged up. I don't know if Higbee's playing. Okay, they struggled with a 49er front to move the football up and down the field. Okay, they struggled with their Tampa Bay front to get points, and then you have Bengals on the offense. They have Joemixion. They have
exactly what you just said. Look. I get it. They just won against the Chiefs. I get that they beat the Titans. But you look at it this way: they played a division opponent that obviously that Kyle Shanahan was 6-0 before that game. So Kyle Shanahan had his number, right? Then they played their best, besides themselves, the best front 7 in football with Tom Brady at the helm.
The Rams wouldn't even be in the Super Bowl if Jaquiski Tartt could catch.
Right.
So I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying you guys, I think I'm gonna let you finish, Adam. I think a lot of people is getting overhyped with what the Bengals did, but I think they're up against a team in the Rams that is just like just a level above them, and it's really gonna show tonight. And just that O-line is not gonna last.
The Super Bowl is gonna make a big mark in the East Coast because it's snow. But Logan,
you said that, like what you just said. You said that, like the Rams are like above the Bengals, and I can agree with that on paper. They definitely are. I would agree with that on paper. But
we're the only 2 on this branch. We're the only 2 on this branch.
But
Logan's the Bengals.
Don't you also agree that the Kansas City Chiefs were a cut above the Bengals?
And I also believe with
absolutely. And they went in the Arrowhead, got and spotted the Kansas City Chiefs like 18 points.
Matthew.
And still came back and got the job done.
I agree with you on that, but I look into a point where like Zach Taylor is holding that AFC championship, right? And to the point where he's excited. It's his first time. He just came off of 6 wins in the last 2 years. He's gonna make sure his team is focused. And then you're looking at a genius in Sean McVeigh. He doesn't even want to touch the trophy. He said, I don't want that. We have one more. That's 2 different mindsets right there to begin with. That's a coach that been to the Super Bowl, that Chris just said it, that lost the Super Bowl, that doesn't even want to hold the NFC championship.
That's a different team.
It's a different team, but doesn't even want to touch the trophy. And then
we have Zach Taylor. Majority of the players are still there. We
have Zach Taylor that is so happy, and the Bengals nation that's so happy because
here's how I'm countering
new moment for them.
Your defense. Here's how I'm countering your defense. Okay, everyone says that, and then Logan, I want to hear your take as well, and your memory as well.
I want to be shocked, like real fast. I'm sorry. I want to be shocked, like Chris said, if the Bengals put it up, because I love your guys' takes, Mac and Adam.
Right, and Chris has a great point too, but I'm going to spread them out. I know that the X factor here will be Joemixion and his run blocking ability, because if I'm the Bengals, I'm going to counter what Chris said, and I'm saying, all right, I'm going to go to Tyler Boyd, because guess what? You mentioned Higgins, you mentioned Jamarchase, you didn't mention Azuma, who yes has a bad wing, and Tyler Boyd, who hasn't done much in the playoffs and is due for a breakout game. To me, this is his breakout game. Everyone's going to be shadowing those two
I
other
counter
guys.
that too, because I think the Rams have a really good nickel cornerback too. So I could a slot corner, so I could counter your counter with that.
We'll find out. We'll find out right now because I think you spread them out and go for the best matchup. Okay, and you can do a lot of things. You can put Jamarchase in the slot. You're gonna see things tonight you probably didn't see all season. And that's why I just think when you have one of the best players, I mean, we are now watching the best receiver on the NFC go up against the best receiver in the AFC, right? We have the best quarterback, we believe, right now, playing the best football right now, going up against the hottest quarterback in Matt Stafford, right? And this is what the Rams are built for. I'm just playing devil's advocate again as to why I feel this team is on a meteoric rise. Like I don't know what it is, but when you, like Max said, when you put these hurdles in front of these teams and they face adversity, it hardens you as you go forward into the playoffs because now you can deal with think about this. They were down 18 points against the Kansas City Chiefs and came back from that. Most people would have, the doors would have been blown off and it would have been a 48-3 drumming. Instead, they somehow came back, put the game into overtime, and again, after the craziness that went down the previous game in overtime, they had the calm, cool, and collectedness to keep themselves, play their defense, make the one play they needed to, and then execute the win by driving downfield and scoring the game-winning field goal. So for me, those are the factors I'm looking at. Not just, hey, they have the best talent. It's who's playing the best. And right now, for me, it's Cincinnati Bengals.
The one thing the Bengals better not do is put Eli Apple one-on-one with OdellBeckham because you guys should know this because they were both on your team. Odell's going to smoke him, and he's in Eli Apple's head.
If OBJ plays the full game.
Okay, Logan, your turn. Let's hear you. And then, guys, I'm gonna have to jump off in about 10 minutes to get my cooking started up for the game.
But the rest just wrap it up at 3 hours.
Hang on. But Logan, I'd like to hear your take, and let's ride this out the last few minutes.
Yeah, I have the Bengals winning 27-24 overtime. Evan McPherson hits a game-winning field goal. I don't know, man. Joe Burrow, I just feel has ice in his veins. I don't think he's going to let this slip. He's going to be the only quarterback to ever win a national championship, a Heisman, and a Super Bowl. I just have a gut feeling that Burrow isn't going to let this slip. And then my favorite Super Bowl memory would probably be in 2011 when Mario Manningham made the toe tap sideline catch.
Let's get it.
There you go. So, anywho, this has been great, guys, coming on. We've been rolling here for damn near 3 hours. Anybody want to have some final thoughts, final takes, anything? I'm sorry we couldn't get you guys in calling early, but we wanted to give you something different. I'll let you call in at the end, talk about whatever, memory, debate us on our topics. It's been great. I want to get people to their family time, get settled, get their food, and get in the couch because it's going to be some sparks flying on your TV screen on Sunday. So, guys, if you got anything you want to plug, want to say, we can. Any final questions? Any funky
everybody stuff? To enjoy the Super Bowl tonight. Enjoy the game, man. Enjoy the halftime show. Enjoy the commercials, the spectacle of the Super Bowl. Everybody just have fun. Be safe. Don't do anything crazy. And really enjoy the game tonight, man. Super Bowl Sunday, man. Like I said, it's my favorite holiday of the year, even though it's not a real holiday.
Who's calling out tomorrow? Who's calling out tomorrow?
Personal holiday for me. And as far as anything I got coming up Saturday afternoon, I'll be streaming the Elimination Chamber, WWE Elimination Chamber on my channel Saturday afternoon. So it'll be 12 o'clock noon. If y'all anybody want to come through, hang out for the wrestling stream, you're all welcome, man.
Hell yeah.
Brian?
Hell yeah, make sure you guys go check out that Elimination Chamber on Mac's channel. I won't be making it because I'll be at work, but you guys go check it out. Fire content creator. Make sure you guys sub to everybody's channels here. Also, whose house? You really know, but nah, jokes aside, man, I give a fuck who wins this game. Giants for life, that's automatic. And I want the Rams to win, but man, if Joe Burrow wins it, man, congrats to him. I'd love to see that LSU connection. Everybody talks shit about, about Chase and why they didn't take a Penicillin and all that kind of shit, and they're showing you why, because they made it to a damn Super Bowl. Shout out to the Bengals for making it this far. Too bad they're gonna lose, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big believer in jinxing it, but the Rams is a better team. But long story short, Zion Zenith, Giants for life.
Anybody else in the chat? The Chris, Logan?
No, just everyone enjoy the game. Hopefully enjoy your food. If anyone has any Super Bowl boxes, good luck. And then tomorrow we're all 0-0, and it's our Super Bowl. It's the off season. For the past 10 years, our teams have been awful, so it's like off season's our Super Bowl. So we're all 0-0 after tonight, and that's about it.
Awesome. I look forward
so
to our
love
debates on the draft picks going forward. Logan, you got anything?
Yeah, thank you for having me on. First of all, everybody go subscribe to these great content creators. Everybody have fun tonight. Stay safe. And Zion's favorite Super Bowl was in 2000 when the Rams beat the Titans.
Well, everyone, this has been our show, Premium Takes, a Super Bowl edition. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Adam.
Miz got his invisibility cloak on.
Please put sub up to our channels, subscribe, hit the like button. Give us suggestions on things you heard or have a debate with us. Premium Takes will be going on every Sunday. We're going to give you a hard time in the next couple of weeks on what we're going to be doing, but we got the playoff, we got the NASCAR coming up, we got the All-Star game coming up, and spring training baseball is also on the horizon. So we'll be giving you takes on that. And of course, the NFL offseason never dies. I'm sure there will be a ton of different picks and mock drafts and free agencies and Todd McShay, the sky is falling, and no, don't draft this quarterback. No, don't draft that quarterback. Ooh, he's bad. Ooh, he's bad. We're going to hear it all because that's what they're going to do. They're going to make this draft something to remember. But I thank you for taking a couple hours out of your day to listen to us three guys talk. And this has been Premium Takes. I'm your host, Adam. Guys, again, thank you for always having me, being a part of my team here with Premium Takes. Chris, Logan.
Next week will be on Max channel.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Max channel next week.
Max channel. Max channel next week. He's going to have the double duty with the Elimination Chamber and then on our show, depending on what day it is or what time it is. But if you're in the Northeast, stay safe. It's snowing out there. What a day to watch a football game, right? February, it's snowing. People, it's been real. We're out.